Welcome to Try Friend Heroes, a Legend of Zelda podcast. I'm Ellen.
I'm Kayla.
I'm Kazum.
And today we're talking about Spirit Tracks.
Yay.
Choo choo. I mean, woo woo.
Oh yeah, when is the train to make an appearance? Did you? Yeah. Where's your background train? Did you call the company and be like, I need you at this time? Like,
Yeah.
I need you to change all your shipping schedule so that I can hear you passing at this time. Yeah. Anyway, in this game here, are you ready for my pithy introduction that I always write? I don't know if this one is as funny. It's fine. We'll find out, won't we? In this game, a burgeoning train engineer must partner up with the ghost of a princess traveling the land and restoring the spirit tracks that had kept the Demon King Malladeus under control until he was released by a suspicious devil-hatted chancellor and an apprentice lokomo who desired more power. That's the end of my summary.
Nice.
It's
Yeah.
good.
It was pretty good. I was like, what happened in this game? It was a little bit confusing. It was a convoluted story. But yeah, this is the sequel to Phantom Hourglass. It takes place, several generations after Phantom Hourglass. And it was released in 2019 to, I would say, mostly good reception, but there are some criticisms, which I definitely agree with. And it had like, instead of being like 10 out of 10, it's like 8.5 out of 10 or 9 out of 10. So, I mean, it's like really well ranked game, but I think like the Zelda series has high expectations, right? So it's kind of people had high expectations. Anyway, it sold 2.96 million copies, which is about 60% of what Phantom Hourglass sold. So not that great, not the lowest selling game, not amazing, but yeah, I don't know, a moderately popular game that was pretty good. That's what I gathered from my quick checking of the rankings.
It was all right.
It was fine. Well, like, I think some of the criticism was like, it's a really good game, it's great and all, but it's like, it was very similar to Phantom Hourglass.
Yeah.
Obviously. And some people, like, I think one of the other criticisms was like Zelda's, like the Phantom speed is like so slow.
Yeah. That's definitely true.
That's definitely true. And just some other things, like also Zelda's characterization, some people didn't like, which I definitely agree with. But whatever. Those are but all the other things were like, it's cute, it's fun. Like it's Zelda, you know? And people seem to like driving the train. So whatever.
Yeah.
They're like, the train mechanic is fun. I'm like, okay.
Anything that gives you a dedicated make noise button is good by me.
It also has a train with a cannon, which is like, I mean, I can get behind that. I had more fun like shooting rocks than I did attacking like enemies with the boat. So, one of the other things that one of the other criticisms was like the freedom of exploration isn't as great, which kind of makes sense because you're on tracks. So there's that. You can explore some of the area on different tracks, and like it's not required to use all the tracks, but anyway, whatever. But yeah, so it was a good game, and it came out in 2009 in December. It was released at like different dates in December, which is 2 years after Phantom Hourglass, and it was also after the DSi was released and like around the time the DSi XL was released. So I think the reason they chose to release it at this time was to like increase content available for the DSi and like increase sales of the DSi. So, and it was also re-released on Wii U Virtual Console in 2016, apparently. I don't know how you play a DS game on the Wii U, but it's a thing that you can do, apparently.
Well, they have the
they use the
touch
gamepad as one screen and the TV as another screen.
The TV is the top screen? Okay, that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
It seems so different than like looking at both of them. Like one you're going to be looking at close to you, and then one is like far away. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's probably the best system to emulate the DS of all
definitely.
The ones we have, though, so.
Anyway, seamless segue to Kayla. This is what my notes say.
So yeah, it takes place about 100 years after Wind Waker and Phantom Hourglass in the new kingdom that was founded by Tetra, creatively named New Hyrule.
It's like you can get out of Hyrule, but you can't get away from evil.
This land has been historically watched over by the also creatively named Spirits of Good, who once stopped a great evil called Malladeus by covering the land in railroad tracks called the Spirit Tracks that all connected to the Tower of Spirits and kept this Demon King sealed away. Just go with it.
I agree with your comment to just go with it. I was
I
like,
definitely
okay,
do
sure.
have questions about it.
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions about things in this game, but I was like, it's like, it's the Zelda format. It's like, we're going to go to the temples and whatever. Like, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, they go whole hog on the train thing though. Like
I know, they definitely do. It was definitely like a train sim, but in a Zelda game. Because you have to drive the train. Like, anyway, whatever. Finish your story.
I feel like someone was like, "What if we drove a train?" And they're like, "That's fun. What if the entire game is based around trains?
Driving trains. There's
Everything
evil
has to be
trains. Everything is trains."
So yeah, unsurprisingly, this kingdom relies heavily on train travel. And in the current time, a young boy named Link, no relation apparently, has finished all his training and is ready to attend the ceremony that will acknowledge him as an official royal engineer.
Training.
Yes. It's training.
Yeah.
Training for training.
Good content.
This means traveling to Hyrule Castle for an audience with Princess Zelda herself. Zelda presents Link with his official certificate, but she's hounded and harried throughout the process by her chancellor, a little man named Cole. And at the end, she secretly passes Link a letter, along with a whispered warning to beware of Cole. The puns are really excessive in this game, too.
There's a lot of names that are like
Yes.
Cole and like Ferris, and isn't one of the locomos
One's
like
named Steam.
Ember?
And
Steam, yes.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I see what you're doing here.
the letter asks Link to sneak back into the castle to meet with Zelda privately so she can ask him an important favor, along with the map to a secret entrance to her quarters. Link follows it to find her, and Zelda tells him about how some of the spirit tracks have been disappearing lately, and she asks for his help to leave the castle without Cole noticing, so she can visit the sage who lives in the Tower of Spirits and find out what's going on. This trip, of course, does not go as planned, as the tracks to the tower disappear literally from underneath the train, causing them to derail and nearly crash. And up ahead, they see a strange dark power envelop the Tower of Spirits and break it into pieces. As they stand there gawking, Cole appears to confront them, revealing himself to be a demon in disguise who hopes to resurrect Malladeus now that the spirit tracks are disappearing. With the help of a lackey named Byrne, he knocks Link aside and expels Zelda's spirit from her body, taking the empty shell away with them. Link recovers and reunites with Zelda's disembodied spirit, and they once again make their way to the Tower of Spirits, managing to actually arrive this time. Inside, they meet an old woman named Anjin, one of the lokomos who serve the spirits of good and watch over the land. Anjin explains how the flow of energy along the spirit tracks between the Tower of Spirits and its four surrounding temples is what keeps Malladeus locked away. And when the seal is broken, Cole and Byrne will be able to resurrect Malladeus with a suitable vessel. That, of course, being the now empty body of Princess Zelda. Zelda, understandably less than thrilled with this idea, urgently asks what can be done to prevent this, and Anjin explains that they need to restore the spirit tracks by first finding the 4 rail maps within the Tower of Spirits, and then journeying to each of the temples to restore their power. Each temple is protected by another lokomo, who will help them on their way. So off they go, climbing the tower and trekking across the land to restore the spirit tracks. On their return before the last temple, Byrne confronts and attacks them, only to be stopped by Anjin, who reveals that Byrne is a lokomo himself, and even used to be her apprentice, before he grew frustrated with serving the spirits and left to seek greater power. Anjin sends Link and Zelda off to continue their quest, while she stays behind to fight her former student. Link and Zelda worry for a bit, but they decide to obey her words, and hurry off to complete the last temple. When they return to the tower and finally climb toward its peak, they are confronted by Byrne again, who tells them that their efforts to restore the spirit tracks were too late, as Malladeus has already begun his resurrection. They fight him and win, but he still has enough energy to limp up to the top of the tower and beg the freshly resurrected Malladeus to grant him power. The answer to that turns out to be a resounding no, as Malladeus blasts him with a burst of dark energy, and Cole sneers that obviously the demon cake would never grant such power to someone who used to serve the spirits. Since Malladeus is still adjusting to his existence in Zelda's body, the two of them depart for the Dark Realm to finish growing their power. Zelda despairs over the loss of her body, but the fortunately not dead Anjin appears to calm her down. Everyone retreats to the train, even dragging along the unconscious Byrne, to discuss what to do next. Anjin explains that there had been a powerful weapon called the Bow of Light during the war between the spirits and the Demon King, and that it might be able to force Malladeus out of Zelda's body. She sends them off to one last temple to retrieve this weapon, but when they return with it, she admits that she doesn't know how to find Malladeus in the Dark Realm. Fortunately, Byrne, of all people, pipes up with a solution. Beneath the Tower of Spirits is something called the Compass of Light, which can show them the way. Anjin grants Link a powerful sacred sword once wielded by the spirits, and then he and Zelda go off to find the compass and enter the Dark Realm. Within, the two of them confront Malladeus and Cole, and use the Bow of Light to expel Malladeus from Zelda's body. The explosive force of this separation sends them all crashing out of the Dark Realm and back to Hyrule, where Malladeus isn't quite ready to give up the fight. He attempts to retake Zelda's body, but Byrne throws up a protective magical shield to stop him, and urges Zelda to hurry and reclaim her own body. She manages to do so, and just in time, as a furious Malladeus breaks through the shield and attacks Burn, destroying him in an instant. Cole cheers this on and encourages his king to recapture Zelda, but Malladeus has a different idea. He instead takes over Cole's body, gaining a monstrous physical form for one last desperate confrontation. It's a difficult fight, but working together and using the sacred sword and the bow of light, Link and Zelda manage to defeat the Demon King once and for all. They celebrate their victory a bit somberly, but Anjin comes forward to tell them that there should be no regrets, as Burn made his sacrifice willingly. She also explains that the Lokomo, as servants of the spirits, don't disappear so easily, and that Burn will rejoin them in time. She also says that she believes the Lokomo are no longer needed to watch over mankind, as they seem to be doing quite well on their own. And with a few fond words of farewell and thanks, Anjin and the rest of her people return to the heavens. And in the newfound peace, Zelda and Link return to their lives as princess and engineer, but with a powerful bond connecting them still. The end.
Yay.
Trains.
And in the end, friendship was the best thing ever.
Yes.
Trains. So many trains. There's like evil trains and like demon trains and like like
Bullet
spirit.
trains.
There's regular trains, spirit trains. So many trains. I was telling Cosmic Kayla I didn't finish playing this game, but I watched like a playthrough of the part that I didn't finish, and I was like, oh my god, train face off at the end. You have to fight the demon train. I was like,
Yeah.
The train battle was kind of fun.
Yeah.
It looks really fun. I'm gonna do it. I only have like a couple hours left to finish. I'm like getting the stupid compass. But also the Dark Realm looks really cool visually. I was like, oh, I'm so sad I didn't get there yet. I was like, the Dark Realm, and then I saw the actual visual, and I was like, oh, it's all purple and like weird and green, lime green.
There's little skulls on sticks around the tracks.
Yeah, that's how you know it's dark. Oh yeah, there's like dark train tracks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and there's like a portal you have to go to. Anyway, it looks pretty dope. That's all I'm trying to say. But I thought it was really amusing and delighted by the fact that there's like a train fight. But also then I was thinking about it and I was like, actually, like this game mimics the structure of Phantom Hourglass. It's like very similar to structure of Phantom Hourglass.
Yes.
And the last battle, you have to fight the ghost ship. So it's like actually kind of the same.
Yeah.
So you fight the demon train there's like demon train instead of ghost ship. The structure and the game is like generally very similar. So anyway.
Yeah. I like the train battle better than the ghost ship battle. It felt a little more involved. Like the ghost ship battle, you're just kind of tapping constantly while it moved you from side to side automatically. So
True.
Well, then after the vehicle battle, you then fight the possessed friend battle.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the same. And then you also have to. It uses the top screen as like the back of the fight as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like very, very conceptually similar. At least in the way that the story is different, but it's structured very similarly.
So yeah, this explicitly takes place around 100 years after Phantom Hourglass. So this Zelda is the great-great-granddaughter of Tetra.
Yeah, and Linebeck III is the great-great-grandson of Linebeck. And then there's like old Nico. Huh?
Yeah, Nico's still alive, even though he's got to be like 120 or something. Yeah.
But he's like, go get stamps for me. And then I was like, there was one where it was like super dangerous. And I was like, I'm getting it for Nico. I can't remember what it was. There's one like right at the top of the Tower of Spirits, dude. Like, who put this fucking stamp station here?
Although, the first few are easy to get to, like a normal like tourist collection thing. And then you're like, who put these here with the lady?
Yeah, it's really funny. Like, I'm down.
I was like, I can understand why you didn't get these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you went to the top of Tower of Spirits. He's like, yeah, I did. And I got a stamp for it. I like the stamp.
There's also like a
really
descendant of Gonzo there.
Yes. Alfonso? No, wait.
Yeah. Yeah, there's Gonzo and Wind Waker, and the descendant is Alfonso.
Alfonso. I was really... Yes.
Yeah.
And he looks exactly the same, of course.
Yeah. Yes. And there's someone who looks exactly like Jolene, which just adds more questions to the... it was all a dream ending of Phantom Hourglass. But whatever, I'm not bringing it up.
She looks like Jolene. I didn't get to that on PC.
She runs like a fighting minigame in Castletown.
Oh. Interesting.
You just like battle a lot of enemies.
It looks like Jolene. Maybe it was Jolene's sister. But like Linebeck is real, so maybe Jolene's real. We talked about this.
Actually, okay. So what if Jolene is a real person that Linebeck knew before he was ghost shipped away, and him being in the ghost ship world, like actualized Jolene and her sister as like.
So like manifested like his like worst fear version of Jolene down or whatever.
Yeah, there we go.
So you're saying she was real, but she wasn't in the Phantom.
But that wasn't the real her in Phantom Hourglass.
So he like meets up with the real Jolene later. He's like, I had this crazy dream and you were chasing me down in a pirate ship, and she's like, what the hell are you on?
All I'm saying is Jolene and in my headcanon, Jolene and Linebeck got together after the Phantom Hourglass incident, and that's how you have Linebeck the Third and Jolene person, whatever her NPC name is.
I can't remember.
Not just they needed to reuse sprites.
Yes.
I was really happy that they brought back Linebeck and Linebeck's theme. It doesn't even matter that he's there for like 2 seconds.
I was like,
yay, Linebeck!
Yeah.
Yay! And it's like quote unquote not Linebeck, but it's exactly like Linebeck. They should have just made like Old Man Linebeck. They made Old Man Nico, but they couldn't make Old Man Linebeck. How rude.
Yeah.
Also, this is totally unrelated, but I really enjoyed Link's train conductor uniform.
Yeah, I was really happy when I could get it back later on.
How do you get it back? Because I also didn't do that.
If you get enough stamps for Nico, he gives it back to you.
Oh, that's how you do. I always wondered what I was risking my life to get all these stamps for.
Yeah.
Don't you have to get 10 for him or 5? I forget.
I think if you get 15, you get the train uniform back. I think you get other
I didn't
rewards
get enough. I had like 5
points.
or 6.
Yeah. Yeah, but I got enough for that. I was like, yay, because it's really cute.
Yes.
It is cute. I would definitely have worn it all the rest of the time if I could. I mean, like the green uniform is cute, but if you're gonna be like in train land, you might as well have your cute train conductor uniform.
Yeah.
You know.
I do like the implied lore of the like castle guards having like Link's uniform. Like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're clothed in the green of the fields. They're the heroes.
Yes.
You know. I like that.
I like
Zelda.
the little like stained glass of Tetra in the castle in her Tetra like get up like
Yeah, and there's
so you know it's Tetra, not just a random Zelda.
Not just a Zelda. And Zelda explicitly doesn't she say something in the dialogue about Tetra at one point?
Yeah, I think she says like Tetra help like
ask for strength from
Yeah.
Tetra. Yes.
Yeah, at the end she explicitly calls out Tetra, and then like a couple other dialogues
yay.
like obviously are talking about Tetra even if they don't say her name. So
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah, but this Link doesn't appear to be related to that Link, even though he's identical.
Don't ask questions. He's just a generic little blonde boy from New Hyrule or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the like spirit of courage just makes you look like a Link, and then it makes people trust you implicitly when they see you.
Totally. That's definitely it. It makes you look like a Link. It's kind of like how there's like, there's extra Ricks and Mortys. There's just Links. And Zelda's. This Zelda is explicitly descended from Tetra. So that
all
makes
the Zeldas
more
are
sense.
descended from the
all the Zeldas
right?
are implicitly related to each other. This one has like an explicit
that's fair.
generational relation, but
Yeah, sometimes they're like you have because they have also it's like what you said, they're part of the royal family and then they have the Triforce, and so therefore they look like a Zelda, you know, or they are a Zelda. But it's like, but there's no like necessarily direct relationship or whatever. It's just I don't know.
This is the only one where it's like this is the great great grandchild of this one, rather than and them all just sort of vaguely being related because they're in the same royal line.
Yeah, exactly. A Zelda.
Yeah.
Don't ask questions. This whole game is like don't ask questions. Like, why am I driving a train? Don't ask questions.
I liked Cole's design with his 2 hats covering his horns.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's really suspicious. And then the hats came off, and I was like, no wonder. It's like, why does he need 2 hats to cover up his? How did he think that was going to go over? He should have just worn one big hat. It's way less suspicious.
I don't think he was too concerned about not being suspicious because his whole act was
face
suspicious.
is suspicious too.
Yeah.
He is suspicious background music. That's really much more concerning.
Yeah, his expressions are something else.
Yeah.
It was really creepy. It was almost as creepy as the Happy Mask Salesman, but like explicitly creepy. You know what I mean? He also had like the angles going on in his like in his speech. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I remember, at least. That's the way I'm choosing to remember it.
Yeah. Malladeus is mostly just a generic evil spirit dude.
The blob.
But I do want to point out that he is named after the world record holder for speed for steam locomotives, which is a blue train built in 1938 called the Mallard.
Oh.
In some of the languages, he's just straight up called Mallard.
Oh. I definitely didn't
They
realize
just made it a little more demon-y in this version.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Malladeus definitely sounds like a demon. I didn't realize until you were literally reading your summary just now that Anjin is a pun of engine. So
Yeah.
Okay, thank God. Thank God. Well, because I
didn't realize that one for a little while, but
I get it.
Angine?
Engine.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, Angine. And then I thought his name was Byron, not Byrne. That makes way more sense.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about
yeah,
that.
here are the Lokomos. Yeah, they're pun names. So you got Anjin, Gauge, Steam, Carbon, and Rail.
Yeah. Then all the other characters, some of the other characters have pun names too, like Burn, and then Ferris is the train otaku.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just looking at Anjin's name in other languages. It looks like it's a pun of like wheel. There's like XL in French, Shadin in Japanese, which apparently means wheel. I learned. Yeah, so they have pun names.
But yeah, I just liked the speedy train
the puns.
name.
Yes, that's cool.
Yeah, the train is also very blue, which I think is
a reference to the blue train. Yes. Oh, it's so charming. It definitely does look like the demon train, though. I agree.
Yeah, and it broke that record in 1938, and the record still holds. So
for steam, so they
steam
did make
trains,
a faster steam train. Yeah,
I'm sure the bullet trains go faster than that, but
yeah,
that's pretty respectable when 126 miles per hour.
Oh yeah,
it's also a cute little train, like Link's train, where it has like just like enough room for the. This is like the locomotive, and then there's, like there's little windows for the driver and stuff. Like it's all cute and short. So charming.
Oh, cool.
Today I learned.
Yeah, there's your train trivia for the train episode.
It's okay. This game is clearly designed for train otakus. Like you have to drive. It has like the same. It's not just like go forward and back. It's like there's go forward and like pause, like slow down, like stop going forward and backwards, and then go faster. Right? Yeah. So it has like an actual like stick thing, like how you would actually drive a train.
Yeah,
which is funny. It's like it doesn't have to be like that, but they made it like that.
Yeah, it was made with a lot of loving attention to the trains aspect of this game. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, I like when you have to take a passenger and they're like, make sure you follow the signs. It's like, I don't want to fucking follow the signs. I'm not a real engineer. No. In fact, I'm a really bad engineer. I drive through stops all the time. You have to be really, really careful when you have a passenger, and they like don't like it when you go fast and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm trying for us to not die. I'm not trying for your comfort, okay?
Like when they like yell at you when you get attacked, and you're like, "How is this my fault?"
Yeah, I'm a goddamn engineer. I'm not a hero or whatever the fuck. I like how at the end Zelda's like, "What do you want to be when you're done with this fight?" And it's like engineer or warrior. It's like,
yeah.
I guess engineer.
Like neither of those. I want to go home and sleep forever.
Yeah.
I'm 12.
Yeah.
There's also a cutscene at the end where Zelda's like signing documents and shit. And I'm like, she's like 12 still. Also, like, what's happening here?
Well, she just killed her chancellor, so now she has to do all the politics herself.
She needs a new chancellor or whatever. She has like the teacher. She's like, oh my god, I hope the teacher's fine. And it's like, who even is this character anyway?
He doesn't even have a name. He's just teacher.
Teacher.
Yeah.
It's also like, why is he even here? He's just like a random character. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, he can become like her prime minister or whatever. It's fine.
Then there's Byrne with his half-ass redemption arc.
I was really hoping that we would get Burns, because you don't have the light arrows yet, so there's one more space for tools on your little tool thing. I was really hoping you would get his like springy arm. I thought that would be fun, but I guess not. If wishes were horses.
But he like went up and like asked for power from the Demon King, and the Demon King was like no, and he's like, well, I
No.
guess I'll go back to being good then.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But then at the end,
Like, I
doesn't he
didn't get what
like,
I want, so
but at the end, Anjin is like, oh, like but he'll be like reincarnated or whatever. There was some like weird thing that happened at the end, right?
Yeah.
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 And it's like,
yeah, they all
okay,
like ascended to a higher plane of existence. And
why did he get to go? He was
come
evil.
back soon with his like without memories or something? So I don't know. I guess he'll be like a blank slate, and they can try better.
Maybe he'll be
raise him good
reincarnated
this time
as
or something.
like a ant or something this time. Is that how lokomos work? I don't know. I was like, there's I shouldn't ask questions. I don't know why I'm asking questions.
Yeah, I do like his design though. He looked cool.
I liked him too. I was fine with his like weird half-assed redemption arc. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's just like so that he can have knowledge of the compass on whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
instead of just being like, oh, by the way, there was this tool here all this time that you could have used to find the demon train earlier.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
it gives him like a character to be able to do that, I guess. But
hmm
I mean, everything else is revealed very slowly. So
yeah, like it works
I'm
fine.
gonna
I don't
say
come
that.
to Zelda Spirit Tracks for in-depth character arcs.
Yeah.
but I think like the character arc for like Linebeck was a lot better. You know,
hmm
not that he was evil,
Mhm.
but I think his character arc was better if we make a direct comparison to Phantom Hourglass, for example. I don't think anybody else had a character arc. Jolene.
Yeah.
You like fight her off for good. I can't remember exactly what happens, but there's no real like Burn is like kind of Burn is like an antagonist. So I don't know. There isn't really like an equivalent character in Phantom Hourglass because like the evil. I can't remember what the evil thing is. Not the ghost ship itself, but like the thing that you have to. Yeah, Bellum.
Bellum?
Bellum is like just evil. There's no like servants
Yeah.
of Bellum or whatever, right? So
Yeah, he doesn't have any kind of like personality or anything either.
no, he's just like incarnated evil.
Yeah, like, I don't think he even speaks. Like Malladeus at least has a couple of lines, even though he's basically the same kind of
Yeah.
just pure evil thing.
Yeah.
He has like moaning and groaning lines when he's in.
Yeah.
Actually, in general, I noticed when I was looking at the music credits, there's like way more voice credits for this game. I think there's just like a lot more. Yeah, I mean, like I think in terms of quantity, there's not necessarily more lines that are read or whatever, but there's more different characters that speak and make noises. So there's like a lot. There's probably like twice as many voice actors. So that was interesting, I guess. But and Malladeus is one of them.
Yeah. I do like Malladeus is like, I'm about to die, but I'll fuck up the world before I go. So I do respect that.
Yeah.
Like I respect this attitude.
Yeah.
I like that they get like blasted back to Hyrule also after.
Yeah.
I mean, like a lot of the Zelda games have this like I guess kind of concept that's like evil is just like there and present, and there's always like a fight against it. And so Malladeus being like, I'm just gonna fuck this up just because it's kind of I don't know. It's the same playing out the same concept from a lot of Zelda games. So it's just like again, it's just evil, and evil's always there. There's always like you know, there's always a great evil antagonist. So
Just a force of evil for good to rise up and meet.
in this case, it's like the Lokomos or whatever that were there to stop it because it's not Hyrule instead of like the sages that you normally get. Yeah.
It's new Hyrule.
New Hyrule with new Hyrule, new evil. So this is what I'm saying.
I should just call him New Ganon.
They definitely should have. They're like, oh yeah, we used to fight evil all the time in Hyrule. We called him Ganon though. We didn't call him Malladeus. So we're gonna call him Ganon from now on. They didn't even talk about the Triforce in this game.
No.
They did say that Zelda is like kind of a sacred. They were like, you have to reclaim, you know, the spirits or whatever, whatever, because I can't remember exactly
Like the
what the line
sacred
is.
power of her bloodline or whatever.
Yeah, something. So it's referenced, but it's not explicit. because this is new Hyrule, so there's no new Triforce, I guess. There's new evil, but no new Triforce.
Yeah, I do like that we sometimes get these little games that just like, it's like it doesn't all have to be like the huge sweeping endless battle of like Ganon versus like Link and Zelda kind of thing. It's like every once in a while you just get a little smaller evil story.
No, these are all excuses around dungeons, pretty much is what's happening. Where it's like, we have this like these mechanics, you go to this dungeon, do this thing, and it's like, but we need like a reason to go to the dungeon. Like, okay, there's like, what if there's an evil power that we have to keep under wraps? But not
Like,
not
what if it's an
Ganon.
evil train.
Wait, I've got a great idea, guys. Evil train. Demon train. And everyone's like, yes, the greatest idea we've ever had. You're like, how about this time, instead of a boat, it's a train? I'm
I do
saying
like
that
the
with
evil
love.
trains that are running around on the tracks though, that have like
I find them
little
annoying,
chases.
but also
yeah, yeah.
hilarious. Yeah, they're so angry.
And they're kind of annoying to deal with, but I like their design and I like the music that plays when they get near you.
Yeah.
I was also looking forward to the point where you can, in the shadow realm or the dark realm or whatever it's called, you can
You
collect the
smash
tears
them
of
all
light.
bits.
Yeah, and you can just like
Yeah.
explode them. I was
Oh,
like,
that's very
yay!
Oh, I missed out. I found out reading that if you had the tear of light and you honked your horn, you go like really fast.
Yeah, that's how you
I didn't
smash
know
them,
that.
apparently.
Oh no, I just
Yeah, you
you
go
just went
extra
fast.
fast.
You just will go faster.
I think
with
if you touch them at all,
Oh,
it
you-
smashes
they
them,
just
but it's more
explode.
satisfying if you slam into them with the, with the
Yeah, if
train
you
whistle
honk, if you
going.
pull your train whistle, I almost said honk your horn. If you pull the train whistle, you go extra fast, apparently, when you have the tears of light. So now you're gonna have to play this game all over again to get to that part again.
Right?
Right? Yeah. Let's just drive trains. We don't need the rest of Hyrule. There doesn't need to be like horses or like epic sword fighting or whatever the fuck. We can just drive trains. Oh, the Gorons were there this time, and the Nukis are back.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember in the forest, I guess it was, and the beach, it was just like people in the ocean realm.
Yeah.
Oh, there's dolphins in New Hyrule. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Golden dolphins.
Yeah. Oh, it's also annoying ass pirates. Those little
Yeah,
mini ones
yeah,
that are
yeah.
there.
I like the little like random tanks that like come up to you
Mhm,
when you're on the train.
Mhm.
This is also the only game other than Twilight Princess that has Bulblins.
Oh,
The little dudes riding on the
yeah,
boards
riding on
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
around the train
True.
tracks. So that's kind of an interesting thing to note.
Oh,
Neat.
that is interesting. There were some other enemies from Twilight Princess that came back that they made little cute forms for, like the wolves. Because there weren't
Mhm.
wolves in the other handheld games. No, there weren't wolves in in Phantom Hourglass. I don't think.
No, yeah, you're right.
I don't
In
remember.
the snow.
Yeah.
I don't think so. And then there were Freezards also.
Mhm.
Which were really cute in their little like DS like chibi Wind Waker form. Although I thought they were cute in those are like the ice things that you smack and then they spin around the room and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those people who don't know what I'm talking about, they're like a little kind of like a snom but pointy. If that makes sense. But more pointy and more no butt face. They have like a little eye in the front, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's an apt description. You're laughing like I'm crazy, but it's accurate.
It's apt. I just don't think it'll be helpful to that many people.
Who doesn't know what a snom looks like? Doesn't everyone know? It's probably like the only Pokemon that people like, other than like they're the only like new Pokemon that everyone is always talking about all the time on the internet because they look silly. So it's like a pointy thing that's made out of ice, like a little hedgehog made out of ice with a big eye in the front. Because Zelda, is that a better description? And you hit them and they spin around. Anyway, they're Freezards. That's what they're called, apparently. And they have a little mini version of, like a Wind Waker F5'd version of them. Toon Freezard in this game that I thought was cute. And there was a lot of like puzzles, and the gameplay was like really similar to the DS. To Phantom Hourglass.
Yes. Is that my cue?
I think it could be, unless there's other things that other people wanted to say about the story, but I didn't have anything else that I wanted to say at this time.
Okay.
That's about all I got.
Well, cool. That actually was pretty seamless, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to cut out this part where we talked about how seamless it was.
So this game, it plays very similar to Phantom Hourglass.
Yes.
One change that we talked about off screen, off mic, was in Phantom Hourglass, to roll, you had to spin your stylus in like a circle in front of Link, and he'd roll.
Yeah.
And here, you'd have to double tap on the screen, and he'd roll. For what we've discussed, that seemed to be changed for the worse. Because you could tap things to like hit them, and if you double tap to try to hit something but missed, you'd roll, and it seemed to screw a lot of us over.
It definitely messed me up.
Yeah.
I also definitely didn't know that that's how you rolled this game until we were talking about it before we started recording. It's like, what? No wonder I was rolling so much during battles. I was just stabbing the screen repeatedly. I don't think I stabbed my DS more times in my entire life owning it than when I played this game just now. So I don't know.
Another change that they made, I believe this wasn't in Phantom Hourglass, is if you press the shoulder button, it would equip your item for you. So you wouldn't have to tap on the screen. You could just like press it and then press the yeah.
So like you can either tap, so you pick your item from the menu and it's like semi-equipped. You can either tap that to equip it, or you can hold the shoulder button, which is how I always did it, actually.
Was that the same?
I think that you did that in I think it was in Phantom Hourglass also.
Was it really?
Yeah, think of all the times you could have just held the button instead of tapping.
Huh.
Are you reflecting on your on
Yeah.
your past?
Huh.
Yeah, I think so. I don't have the
I don't
game.
know why I
Hourglass
never did that.
I don't remember, but I didn't really use it either way, so.
I don't remember how I learned that. Maybe it has instructions?
Maybe.
I don't remember.
Weird.
For like a shortcut.
Yeah.
But I definitely use it all the time. That's the primary way that I use them. The tools.
Okay, well then.
I think it's interesting how people play games differently. I really enjoy watching, like, I like finishing games, but I also really enjoy when I don't finish a game and I get to watch the other person play through, because I'm like, oh, they did it this way. Oh, they like did this thing instead. And I think it's really interesting anyway.
The other big change to this game is you can control Zelda now. While you're in the Temple of Spirit? What? Tower of the Spirits. Spirit Tower? Oh my god, what is it called?
I was like, the Tower of Spirits. I was like, is that what it's called? We've played a lot of Zelda games now. They're all kind of, all the names are starting to like bleed together a little bit.
Yeah, there's only so many variations on far as dungeon you can make.
Yeah. Yes, while you're in the Tower of the Spirits, you can have Zelda possess a phantom, and you control both you and Zelda at the same time.
Yeah, semi-playable Zelda.
I was about to say similar to Majora's Mask, where you were able to control Keffi, but you really... No, yeah, you
don't control you at the same time.
Was there a button to just switch?
I don't remember. I didn't do that side quest.
You switch between the two. Yeah, I don't remember if that was automatic.
I think it's kind of more like the boss battle in the one dungeon in Phantom Hourglass where you control the little Goron kid. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes. It is like that.
In fact, draw a path rather than like directly controlling them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think it's the same mechanic. Yes. I think where you click on them and you draw a little path.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you tap on them with your stylus and draw a path. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I know Zelda's slow.
Yeah.
Like Phantom Zelda is slow, but like I would like make Phantom Zelda scout out everything in the room. Because like sometimes there's stuff that you can't see or whatever.
Yeah.
So that was really useful.
Mm-hmm.
One
like
really useful way.
You draw through the walls just to see what is over there? Because I did that a lot too.
There was one where, like, especially in the dark room, she can walk around the room, but you can't, because, like, you can't see, and also, like, you don't, I mean, like, in the room, it's just, like, the map room in the room is just empty, so you don't know where the Phantom's line of sight is. Mm-hmm. So I made Zelda walk around the room, and I drew myself a map.
Yeah.
Which I think other people definitely do, but it's pretty, I think, convenient. But other times, too, where it's just, like, you're just able to make her go through parts of the room where you like don't necessarily have to leave or whatever. To look to scout out things. There were sometimes I can't remember what tool it was. One of the items that you have in Phantom Hourglass, I used to like use a lot to like kind of like bomb choose or whatever, where you can draw like a really long line and you can see like, along the room.
Yes.
I can't remember if it was just bomb choose or there was something else.
You could do that to a degree with the boomerang, but it wouldn't go nearly as far.
It doesn't go as far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would use the boomerang a lot for like sort of
I use that.
Mm-hmm.
Look
I
around
can't quite see
corners.
what's around this corner kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But so like you can basically do that with Zelda, where you can like make her walk around in parts of the room and the phantoms don't bother you and stuff, so you can like kind of scout things out, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it does take fucking forever.
Yeah.
I agree with you're like, okay, she's still walking. And I would like look at my phone and then be like, okay, she's still walking.
Mm-hmm. I think I realize now why is because while she's moving, you then may sometimes have to control Link, and so you might have to catch up with her, use an item, catch up with her again, continue using an item.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it didn't like bother me that much in normal gameplay because usually you're sending her somewhere while you're doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
As opposed to just waiting for her to come rejoin you, and
it didn't bother me. I can see the criticism though that from other people.
Yeah,
it is. There's the one where she has to walk and you have to like shoot all the hands. I forgot the hands came back. Kind of like the hands from Twilight Princess, like from castle, where they float around. I mean, it's kind of like a wall master, but it reminded me more of the
no, I get what you because it would take the thing and put it back at the beginning.
Twilight. Yeah, exactly. And they have like a eye thing. It kind of works the same way as those hands, where they would take the soul and bring it back or whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you can control her.
Yeah. So there were 4 different types of phantoms that you could control, and various puzzles with the different types of phantoms.
I definitely forgot what all of them looked like. There's a part at the end when you're going to get the what's it called? The compass. It's like now the guide was like, go get a destroyer phantom, and I was like, which one is which? I don't know.
Well, there's one time where I got the I thought I got the warp phantom, but I just got the regular phantom. And so I was like, oh, Zelda didn't warp? Why didn't she warp? And then the warp phantom came and got me while I was like trying to draw Zelda's path. And I was like, what? How? There isn't a warp phantom here. And then I realized that I had just made the mistake of getting the wrong one.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, the other biggest gameplay change is the train. You're in a train now. You've got the speed toggle on the side.
Yeah, you got your forwards and your backwards.
Yes, and you're even more forwards.
Yeah.
You've got the train whistle, and you've got your bomby bombs.
Yeah, train cannon, because all trains have cannons. It's definitely a normal thing that trains have.
Well, probably in Hyrule.
I was gonna say there's a lot of things on the field. So
now for items, you've got quite a few items coming back: the core, boomerang, bow, and bombs. But then they added the whirlwind, which is neat. You blow into your DS microphone, and out comes a gust of wind in a straight line. Good for pushing things like bombs or enemies or blowing out fires. Mm-hmm. Yep. You've got your whip, which acts in a lot of ways similar to the grapple hook in Wind Waker.
Yeah, but it's more badass.
Oh yeah, you can like whip things with that are
you can
not...
whip enemies. I used to whip it was really easy to fight like what are the skeletons? Saphos or whatever.
Yeah.
Where because you can like you can hit them with it and then you can grab their like head and throw it. So I used the whip a lot on them instead of wasting arrows, which was nice. Mm-hmm. And it shipped like a snake,
like that.
Which is
like a snake.
Yeah, the most important part.
Yes.
I guess it's a reference to Mother 3 because there was like a whip.
Oh yeah.
Is there?
Yes.
I'm not familiar with that. But I would like
in
to play
Smash
it.
Brothers, Lucas, his grab is that whip.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at it.
You've got the sand wand, which you can make sand shoot up into a pillar that you can stand on. It hardens it because Zelda can't walk as a phantom on the sand, but when you launch it up, it's hardy enough that she can walk on it. Mm-hmm. And then finally, you got the spirit flute, which is your musical instrument.
The pan flute.
Yeah, it was interesting. I really enjoyed playing it. It was very interactive and felt satisfying.
It was cute.
I did until the freaking fire temple guy.
Yeah.
I think his like training part of the song is sort of confusing.
Well, and then I think, is he the one that his part goes into your part, so like he doesn't stop playing for you?
Too.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, it's kind of the musical interface is like, so it has like a metronome, but then the actual tune isn't represented with like a rhythm. I don't know if that would help other people, but I was like there's no difference between if they're like long or short notes. It just shows you the notes, and so I was really confused on that specific song, like what the actual rhythm was supposed to be. It was a little bit hard.
Yeah.
Most of them weren't that hard. That one in particular was hard, though. I mean, Kayla, we're talking about that separately. The last one was also kind of complicated. I can't remember. Or maybe the second to last one. I forget. There were some others that were complicated.
Yeah.
Too. The Fire Temple one in particular was complicated. I was like, tell me what you want. I don't know. What do you want from me?
Yeah, that was one of those ones where I was literally shouting at my game, what do you want from me? It's like all the other ones, it only took me like 1 or 2 tries, and that one took me like more than 10.
Yeah.
That was the only one where I was playing it, and he was like, I think you're like not doing it right. And I was like, wow, okay, rude. They actually will like they'll say something to you if you do it wrong during the like performance. And I was like,
and you have to do it
okay.
again. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, somewhere around the 10th time, I was starting to shout back at him. I was like, I will stab you in the face. Like, I'm all for improvising. I was like, shut the fuck up.
It didn't take me 10 times, but it definitely took me a couple times. I was like, what do you want from me, fire guy? They're like, wow, this lokomo is so, he's got such a feisty personality. And it's like, yeah, he's also really picky about his fucking music, apparently. Some of the other songs were kind of lame, though. It's just like 2 notes. But then, like,
the playing them was a bit lame, but I did enjoy all of the
I like the music
parts of it. Yeah, the music that came out from that. Yeah,
the like compared to like I don't know, like Ocarina of Time, where I think like the songs that you play with your instrument are like more well integrated into the composed part.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it would be like you play like 2 notes and the song is like super long or whatever. Like,
although I don't know if it was just me, but it got kind of tiring, like playing the longer songs, because you're like,
you gotta blow into the microphone, and coordinate moving the thing on the screen. I don't disagree with you. I'm sure that's why they shortened it. I'm sure it was shortened. I'm 100% sure that they were shortened for like ease of use.
Yeah.
I just like that.
Like, I don't have the lung capacity for some of these songs toward the end.
but like I don't know. I feel like they were just better integrated in, for example, Ocarina of Time. But it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's an accommodation so that it's like easier for you to do it with the microphone and the thing.
Yeah.
And move the stylus and everything.
Yes.
They should just make like a flute attachment that you have to plug in. It's like Bluetooth paired to your
Flute Hero.
There's
remember the cardboard Switch like add-ons?
Yeah. I totally forgot about that until just now, but yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, I remember the cardboard Switch add-ons. You can make a flute.
I don't know if you could.
I really want to make like a parody game called Pan Flute Hero now.
There's a non-parody actual game called Trombone Hero that Mike will watch videos of. I think it's a parody of Guitar Hero, but people seem to seriously play it. But yeah, so there's Trombone Hero, so I'm sure Pan Flute Hero. Let's just Google it. Maybe it already exists. Oh my god, somebody hacked a Raspberry Pi. Oh my god, they made a game. Wow. So anyway, this open source Pan Flute Hero is what I'm saying.
That's good. I'm glad the niche has been filled.
I'll put this in the in the show links so everyone can enjoy. Anyway,
that's
we're
it for all
about
the usable items. Do you know what? Something I realized? We've been talking about Zelda for like a year now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I talk about the items, but we don't talk about like the collectibles, which I feel like is a big part of the Zelda franchise.
Oh, that's true. Sometimes we do if we have to.
Yeah.
It's like we talk about it.
Or I was like, I hated getting those like X thing. I hated that trading quest or whatever. Anyway, what collectibles? You can get a lot of stuff in this game.
Yeah, there's a good amount. You've got
Stamps.
rabbits. They're all
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's, I guess, an item.
Yeah. I mean, when we talk about Breath of the Wild, the collectibles, it's going to be the Koroks, right?
Oh yeah, I guess so.
I guess it's this.
They're
no, 'cause
definitely
they're
a live
NPC.
animal.
You're not catching the Koroks and giving them to some guy with a hoarding problem,
It's
though.
like, I said the Koroks are a live animal, and it's like, wait, they're not really a live animal. They're a live plant. Question mark. I guess they're more of a.
They're a sentient being that talks to you. So.
The rabbits seem to be sentient, except they like to be hunted, quote unquote. I was like, I don't know if I believe anything you're saying in this. It's like, do I need to call PETA? Like, I have concerns.
Yeah.
He's like, bring me rabbits. I brought him like 2, and he was like, bring more. And I was like, I don't. This is you have a rabbit hoarding problem, sir. Also, they're like in the ocean. There's like ocean rabbits. It's like, what is happening?
Yeah.
I think
It's
he's
very
like one of
strange.
those rescues that starts off with good intentions and winds up as a hoarding situation and have to get animal control involved.
He's like, they love to be with humans. Like, they're hiding in nature.
He's like, I think these are wild animals. Like,
Sir? No, they love to frolic. Don't ask questions. I caught some sometimes because I would shoot things while I was in the train, because sometimes I would get bored on the train. And I was like, just shooting any rock that showed up, and I was like, oh, rabbit time. And then I almost never caught them. I probably caught like 5.
Yeah, they're kind
the
of
whole
challenging.
game.
yeah, it was weird. Some were like super easy, and then some I'd be like, they were like impossible. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't see any rhyme or reason how this works.
I struggled. I think the net like position is like not the top, like the part that catches them is like not where you tap or something. Like it, I don't know. I think there's something
Yeah,
weird
and
with the
it's
way
got,
that
like,
it works.
Yeah, it's got some weird like collision too, because like sometimes I'd be like clipped right through the rabbit. And it's just like do. I'm like, dude, how are you not?
But
in my
you're in the net.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It was fine. As a
it's fine
as a
because
mini game.
none of them lasted very long, so it's just a small distraction. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Right.
oh well, if you didn't catch him.
But I thought the rabbit guy was suspicious. Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Sus.
He also like I don't know if you did the mini game, the little like side quest where you find his wife that he
What?
like left.
No.
He has a wife that he just left behind in Castletown, I think.
What?
And bring her out to him, and then.
Do they reunite happily, or like what happens in the side quest?
She's mad at first, but then she decides that his compassion is what she fell in love with, and so she joins his rabbit rescue.
Oh God!
So it's
turning
like a
into cult.
hoarder. Right. It's
and
a
he's like,
hoarding
I don't know
and
about
cult
this.
situation.
He's like, I don't know about having my wife here, but
All of this is sus.
yeah.
I stand by what my initial assessment of the rabbit guy is, that he's sus. Yeah, so you can collect rabbits. You can collect treasure, and then you can upgrade your train,
Yeah. You can collect treasure,
which I never
and then
did, but you can.
you could exchange them for rupees, or if you had the certain combinations, you can get certain new train cosmetics. And there are a total of 7 additional train cosmetics that you can get.
You get them from Lineback.
Yeah, he never had enough treasures to get any
Yeah.
train
It
pieces.
seemed like you needed a lot. And I was like, how are you
Yeah.
supposed to get all these treasures? Because, like,
Yeah,
I
I
guess you can buy them from merchants, but
I found
also,
that
I never had more than, like, 600 rupees in this game at any given time. So I don't know how you're supposed to afford things that are more than, like, 1,000 rupees.
Yeah.
Which it seemed like all those were.
You sell the treasures.
Yeah. That's what
Sell
I
the
did.
treasures
Yeah.
you don't want for the treasures that you do want, I guess.
Well, some of the treasures are worth a lot, so if you don't care
That's
that much
smart.
about trains, or you don't have enough to get train pieces anyway, you just sell all the treasures.
Because
and
I
you get a lot
wanted
of
the
rupees,
heart.
So.
I wanted the heart piece, but it was like 2,000, and I was like, ain't nobody got enough money for that.
Yeah.
But I guess I could have sold treasures.
Yep.
I was like, I assume I need these for later, but I
Mhm.
didn't. So you don't really need to. Do you get anything from upgrading your train? Are they just cosmetic?
I think some of them give you more health, but mostly they're just cosmetic. Like, I think if you get all the gold pieces, they get you more health, but I don't know if the other ones do.
I thought some of the boat parts in Phantom Hourglass gave you more health, because I think I got
think
one that
that's
increased
right.
it.
Yeah, I think if you had, like, a matching set in
Yeah.
Phantom Hourglass, like, if you had more than one part that were from the same set, you would get more health. So if you had a fully matching boat, you'd get a lot more health.
I see.
Yeah, I think I was able to get mine up at least 1 in Phantom Hourglass, like up the hearts at least 1 or 2. Because I also used to die on the ocean a lot.
Yeah.
More than I would die in the train. So
You can collect force gems, which are typically done by transporting cargo of the cargo variety or of the human variety.
By playing a little game of Crazy Taxi.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like bring this thing from here. We need like ice here in the desert or whatever.
Yeah. I think the Force Gems unlocked new tracks for you to explore, which typically led to rabbits, but I don't know if they all did or if they just where else they left. I didn't collect very many of those. Yeah. It's focused on beating the game.
I really like that as a reward
incentive. Yeah.
Instead of just like, more rupees, I'll put it in my pile of 8,000 rupees. Like you get, like it opens up the map more and gives you more places to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's nice.
We talked a little bit about the stamp book. You can collect stamps from each of the locations, which was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. The stamps themselves are cute.
Yeah.
I like the little designs of the stamps.
And you can collect points from Beetle to get new cards, which give you upgrades and I think eventually a heart container.
There's one in his little balloon.
Yeah. Does he ever give that to you?
I don't know. I assume that if you get high enough points, then you get it.
Yeah, you have to get his like highest point card or whatever, and then
it's like Beetle. I don't need to buy that much from you. I
like that he I didn't buy that much for Beetle, so I didn't bother.
No, I didn't bother either. I think I probably got like 20 Beetle points.
Yeah,
I like that he like serves your. He flies around and you can like whistle him down and he'll just like come to your train.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that he was in like a little balloon in this game because he's kind of in a balloon in Skyward Sword.
Yes, he is.
So. Yeah, Beetle's there. It must be the third generation Beetle or whatever. Yeah. Unless Beetle never ages.
Beetle the third or whatever. Yeah, it's just an immortal being.
He could be. He looks exactly the same. Well, and he's in like multiple places at once in Breath of the Wild, as it turned out, right? So. And
then, the last thing, I don't remember what these were for, but there were the postcards that you can mail in and you get prizes.
Yeah, and then there's like a weird, like, you have prizes and postcards and whatever.
Yeah.
I think you could like win treasure or something from it. It was like a lottery kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. So now we got the speed runs. Okay, you were just moving on to the next section. Skipping speed runs.
I was going to say one other thing, which is this game has battle mode.
Yeah, yeah. It has a battle mode.
Apparently, you only need download play for this one. You don't need to have multiple cartridges. Which is
yeah.
Because the other one, Phantom Hourglass, you had to have 2 cartridges, and apparently this one allows for 4 people instead of just 2. So this is like kind of a different game. Is it? Do you know? Is it a similar gameplay otherwise? So in Phantom Hourglass, the game was like one person control. You take turns grabbing like the little things, and one person controls phantoms, and one person controls Link, and you take turns controlling one or the other. In this game, it's like a 4v4 collection game. So there are phantoms like in the arena, but you have to pick up like little force gems or whatever. And I think it's just whoever has the most at the end wins. And you can like bomb each other and stuff. I guess kind of like, well, no, Bomberman, you just attack each other. I'm trying to think of a game that's similar. I don't know. You just have to like pick up things. It's probably similar to like a Mario Party mini game where it's like you're competing against the other players to like pick up as many of the things as possible. So it's just you do that in like different timed arenas, and like phantoms can kill you, and not when you get hit by a phantom, you lose all your things that you picked up, and other people can pick them up and stuff like that. So that's I think that's the only mode. And there's like multiple levels. It's just like in Phantom Hourglass, it was like multiple levels, but it's the same like mechanic in every level where you take turns. Yeah, and then it had online play previously. I don't think it's supported anymore. But because this game was released when the DSi was available, it had you could play online with other people as well. So that's pretty cool. So speedruns? Speedruns. Is this game super popular for speedruns? I can't imagine.
No. No.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be hard to sequence break.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. There's only 8 entries into the any percent for the Wii U. There's 10 entries for 3DS, the DS, and then 1 entry in the DS for 100% and 4 for the Wii U. So honestly, if you just upload yourself speedrunning 100%, doesn't matter how good you are, you could get second place.
That's good thinking, Qasim.
It's like guaranteed top 10 for a while.
Right? Now, this is according to speedrun.com. I don't know if there's a better place to like
Is there another
Greg 8.
place?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, it's speedrun.com. I feel like with a domain like that, you've got to be the official, right?
Right. So are people doing anything fancy? Because it's a pretty short game. You said you finished it in a week. So
yeah, I finished it in a week.
Not trying to speedrun.
There we go. Okay. I was about to say, the most recent speedrun was 7 years ago. Oh, no. First place speedrun was 7 years ago for the DS, though.
First place / only is what you're saying.
No, this is any percent.
Okay, any
so
percent.
there's a total of 10 entries. And as active as 1 year ago, but 4 hours, 42 minutes, and 29 seconds by Cole Quill.
Okay.
7 years ago.
Okay.
For the Wii U version 1 year ago, Jason X,
Jasonix?
Jasnix, Jasnix,
Jasnix.
he's the one that I saw. His speed run just broke 4 hours. So it's 3 hours, 59 minutes. Just under. Yeah, 3 hours, 59 minutes, and 44 seconds. Oh. And that was a year ago. 100%ing the game is 7 hours and 58 minutes.
Okay.
Also by Jason X 1 year ago. Yeah, there's no particular sequence breaks or anything like that. I feel like I saw significantly less of the nifty tricks that I saw in Phantom Hourglass. I found this one to be a little more plain. I don't know, just watching someone play the game. They were good. There was some precision here and there, but nothing nifty where, not too much nifty where I was like, oh, look at that. That's creative or anything like that.
It seems like speedruns are like either it's like use hacks or do it fast. And this one, so you're saying this one is just like do it fast. Like, yeah. And precisely or whatever.
Yeah. The one, there's a few things that you can do. So if you squish Link between a big block and another block. So there's one place in particular I remember it in the Tower of Spirits. There's one puzzle where you have to move a bunch of small blocks and big blocks. Zelda has to move the big blocks, and you have to make sure all the buttons are pressed. If you have Zelda push the big block into you while you're between that big block and a small block, and I don't know exactly how you do it exactly, because I'm sure it's not as simple as just have them push it up. You can then just climb up onto the block, and then you can then jump onto something that's at that level in that 3D plane, sort of. Yeah, so you're at an elevated height.
You can just jump over the door or whatever.
Yeah. So that's what they did. And then there's another trick where if you roll at just the right time with a bomb planted right in front of you, you get hit and you go very far. So in the Sand Temple, you can do both tricks at once. You in one of those things where you have to roll those big blocks so that the weird shape fits into the hole.
Right.
Yeah. You raise the sand. You can just
like blast yourself over the door or whatever.
Yeah, so you raise the sand and have the block go squish you between the sand. You do the trick, however it is, to get on top, and then you place a bomb down and you roll and you end up on the fence, which gets you to the boss key. So you can skip a good area of that. And then there was a nice little there's a few tricks, one with arrows where he didn't succeed from what I saw, but it seemed like the goal was you shoot an arrow into one of those arrow containers that then redirect it. And there was a place where there's a door that is supposed to be, that blocks the arrow, but I guess he wanted to move the camera. So like the door was out of sight and you want to like look at it just as the arrows hits the door. And I assume it's supposed to go through. He didn't succeed and he eventually gave up after several tries. So that was interesting. And there's another area where you have to hit two switches at the same time. And normally it requires an extra key to unlock one of the switches for you to get to. But you could have Zelda hit a switch. You throw a boomerang over the switch. So you're on a raised platform. You have the boomerang line up. and then you fall down. So the boomerang on its return goes down a level and hits the switch on its way down, and Zelda hits the other switch so that you can skip a key. And then similar thing, you can use the whirlwind to throw a bomb. You're at an elevated level, you throw the bomb, and it falls down into another area where there's a switch and a locked door blocking you. So you don't need the key for that either. So, there's a couple neat tricks here and there, but for the most part, it was just watching someone pretty good at the game play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Another interesting thing is the RNG, because with the trains, the enemy trains on the tracks, depending on their path, you just may have to take a very sub-optimal path to get to your location because they're just blocking your way. I think that's about it. Yeah, I'd say of all the speed runs, it's probably my least favorite. I feel like not much was going on. If you just like watching me play the game, that's cool. Oh yeah, and also I think because this game isn't very popular, it wasn't done by a games done quick, where they have very helpful commentary. So it's some guy streaming who is focusing on the game and can't be as entertaining as when Games Done Quick has someone on the bench specifically there to entertain, keep you more engaged during the slower parts and stuff like that.
Okay, so you just so go fast, squish Link. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, basically.
Be good at the game. Don't die. That sounds like this is what's preventing me from becoming a speedrunner.
and play nonstop.
Memorize the game. The game.
Yeah.
Because it's the only way. Yeah.
Get good.
Become good in multiple ways.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
There is one other glitch that has no functionality, but if on the very last frame, when you are choosing between left or right on the rails, you switch it, you will go one way, but the game will think you went the other. So the example they have is in the Lost Woods. Last second, this person switched the rail to the other side, and even though they succeeded, and like the game showed them getting out of the Lost Woods, it sent them back to the beginning because it just registered them going the wrong way. No functionality.
That's funny.
But it is cool, I guess. I don't know.
It's amusing, mildly amusing.
Yeah.
So, do you want to talk about visual things and music things?
Yeah, please do.
Seamless segue? Okay.
Yeah.
Good, it's time.
Yeah.
I mean, so visually, last time I had Technology Corner, but it's the same console. So if you want to learn, if you didn't listen to the Phantom Hourglass one and you want to learn more about the technology in the DS and like how it had the two screens and how it rendered graphics and whatever, then we talked about that in depth in that episode. So if you're interested in that, I recommend listening to that. But yeah, like a lot of the elements are reused from Phantom Hourglass, like phantoms to a certain extent, and like characters like Linebeck or whatever, and Link and Zelda. I think also. Was Zelda in at all? Or was it just Tetra? I think it was just Tetra.
Yeah, you're right.
I think she's only in
Tetra mode. So, whatever. But the design is still similar, very visually similar to Wind Waker. I think the spoiler alert for this whole section is like, I don't have that much to say because like the visuals are very similar. There's like the train, some of the like, because it's new Hyrule, some of the like insignia and stuff are a little bit like different, and like the symbol, you have like the little symbols for the different whatever you get from the temples, force gems or whatever. There's like the little symbols for the things that you get from the thing are a little bit different than like what we've seen in other games. And we talked about how they don't talk about the Triforce in the dialogue. I don't think it's also used in the visuals or anything. Like on your little shield, it's like a more of like a bird design. The styling is similar, but some of the like visual language is different than our usual standard Hyrule stuff. Because it's done on the DS, we have the two screens again. So like the graphics are rendered on two screens. Sometimes it's used for the back, just like in Phantom Hourglass. Sometimes like in boss fights, the fight continues across two screens, which was pretty cool. Again, like it's also something that was done in Phantom Hourglass, but they reused that mechanic again as well. Yeah, I don't have a lot to say. That's pretty much all I had to say, actually.
Had a wider variety of environments.
True.
Yeah.
Like all the different lands you drive through, which is kind of neat. But...
Well, you have like repeated like ocean, kind of similar to Wind Waker or like Phantom Hourglass. That's true. They're not islands anymore, so like you've different lands. Although you had like the Snow Island and the Fire Island, which are really similar. This one has like the woods also.
I would say that like especially in the fire and water areas had some unique just on the train because like it was very hilly, so there were some steep up climbs and declines that you went through.
Inclines.
Yes. And then in the water section, in the water section, you went underwater.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot the train goes underwater because it's a magic train, which blew my mind. I was like, we can go underwater? Like, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. That part is cool. And like the tracks are really cool. Like the way that looks is cool because they're all on like really high kind of like stilts. Like you're on like a bridge. Like you can kind of see like a substantial amount of depth in the water, which is pretty cool. And then there's also different, like you have like this sort of overworld, and then there's also sections of the overworld, like caves or like the Lost Woods kind of deal, or like other types of forests. So there's also like variety when you're traveling on the tracks. Whereas I guess in Phantom Hourglass, it's like all the same kind of like ocean. You don't go through different like styles of ocean. Yeah. I guess except for the like fog, when there's the fog.
That's true. Yeah.
But it's like still it's like an environment, but you're still like on the ocean. Like it's not like you're going through like different, I don't know, like other than the fog, it doesn't biomes. Yeah, it doesn't look that different.
Was there ever any storms when you were sailing? In because there wasn't Wind Waker, but not in Hourglass, right?
Wind Waker, I don't think so. Yeah. I think the major difference is like
I don't remember anything in Phantom
the fog.
Yeah. Okay.
For the ghost ship.
That's what I remember as well.
Yeah, I don't remember there being other environmental things with the ocean. It doesn't even change from like does it change from day to night?
I don't think so. I don't even think it's like there's anywhere where it's more breezy. Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm thinking about it.
Wild.
Yeah, there's no day and night. There's no night in this game, but yeah, you have a lot of different variety with the tracks and the environments. That's true.
Wind Waker was pretty damn impressive.
Oh yeah,
it was. People need to not hate on it. It's a great game. so much glow, so much bloom. I think this game and Phantom Hourglass sort of like capture the charming spirit of Wind Waker, but in a handheld version. So there's less that you can do, but I think it has all the right sort of like level of charm and also level of scariness or whatever is very similar. This game had chase scenes, like you could chase by things in caves. Oh yeah, and you can 360-degree view around the train like you can on the ship in Phantom Hourglass, which is sometimes useful. It's mostly useful for when you're being pursued by something.
Yeah.
When you hear the enemy music and you're like,
where is it? Where is it? And it shows the enemy on the map. Oh, you can also write on the map in this game just like you could in Phantom Hourglass. I guess that's kind of a gameplay thing, kind of a visual thing, but it's relevant for like some places where the map may be blank, or like if you need to, there's like puzzles where you need to line up where things are looking, like statues are looking and stuff like that.
Or you can make notes of like they'll give you the answer. You have to then travel to that area and make sure you don't forget. Stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like on this level, it's this one level above here. Remember this order or whatever, and like gives you hints and stuff. So I found like I used the map and like notes a lot more in this game. I think there was like a lot of like things where it's like, remember this thing on this floor where it looks different or whatever. And then there's rooms where you just like there is no map basically, and you can like draw it yourself if you want to. Oh, you have like you don't have so in Phantom Hourglass you had like a ferry sort of like near the stylus. In this game you don't, but there's like a little sparkle near where your stylus is on the screen.
Oh yes. That's what you meant. Yes.
Yeah, there's a little when you went to visit a website in like 2002 and they like changed the cursor to be like an animated GIF. It's like that, where there's like a little sparkle that like follows your cursor around where you're touching with the stylus on the screen.
Yeah.
So you have like another like reticle again. It's just like not a fairy this time. You have like a different thing. You have a little sparkle. The other thing is like the temple environments for the most part were like very similar to Phantom Hourglass, so they were like repeated. I don't think there was sand in any of the temples in Phantom Hourglass, but you didn't have to control Phantom, so that wouldn't be relevant. I don't think. I don't remember there being like things where you can fall in and stuff, other than holes, like where the floor would open up or whatever. But yeah, like the textures and stuff are very similar for the most part, except for the sand and like lava. Like Zelda can walk through lava or like whatever, fire or whatever, and carry you. So you have like a couple new sort of like additions to the environments, and a lot of the like interactive elements in the temples were the same, like the switches that you hit and stuff that you shoot is all very similar. It's also similar visual language to other Zelda games like this, so it's not shocking, but they also were reused as well.
Wonder if I should shoot that eye on the wall.
I know, I wonder.
Oh, something about visual language. No, hold on. Wait, I had something. Malladeus. Okay, his demon form. To me, it resembled Ganon a little bit, right? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I mean, like, he has, like, the horns from Cole, but, like, it's kind of Ganon-y with his, like, kind of beast form and shape and the horns.
Well, I feel like those horns kind of were similar to the tusks that Ganon sometimes has. Especially,
Yeah, big, horned boar-like beast. So.
Yeah, music time. Is there any other visual things? I'm trying to remember if there's, like, the castle's pretty castle-y. I don't think there's anything super special.
Okay,
I don't think this is visual.
I do remember one visual
train uniform. Oh, yes. Yes.
At towards the very beginning, way after you meet Byrne and Cole reveals his demon identity, you end up back at the castle, and you're in the hospital ward, and so you and Alfonso are in like beds in the hospital ward. And Alfonso is so big that they had to put a
his
chair
feet are
for his
sticking
feet.
off the end.
Yeah.
I saw that.
I had to take a double look, and I was like, "Oh my god, really?"
His feet are so long they're hanging off the end of the bed. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Also, it's like, are the other soldiers that short, or are the beds just short? I have questions.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the soldiers seem pretty tall and built like Alfonso. I feel like.
Right.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, you're the new scrawny recruit or whatever, whenever you see them. They're like, really? They're letting kids in the army now? Or whatever.
It's like Majora's Mask, where if you have a sword in your hand, it makes you an adult.
Yeah, totally. Totally. I was gonna, well, like, it's not a super visual thing, but I really like Link's little train uniform, conductor uniform.
Yeah.
I mean, like, his classic green uniform is classic and cute, but train engineer Link is very important.
Yeah, it's extremely cute. I was glad I could get it back.
The text, I found that there were several very good comedic moments throughout the game. Oh, game. That's the word I was looking for. I was like, series, episode. Hold on.
Yes, the game.
Yes. Yeah, I found it quite funny.
They added a good slow-mo fall cutscene. I was happy about that because I liked that from Phantom Hourglass. Although I don't think that the cutscenes were as good as Phantom Hourglass with like, like
I don't think it was quite as funny, but there were a couple of good ones.
There were a couple of good ones.
I liked after you defeat Byrne and you and Zelda are sharing this like emotional friendship celebration moment, and then the camera pans over to show Byrne like limping out of the room, and you do like a double take and chase after him.
Yes, I enjoyed that. And I enjoyed their slow-mo fall, and it's the first time that you see Byrne after where he's fighting on Jean, and then she's like, leave now, and you get like slow-mo dropped out of the teleported out of the to the train. And I was like, if she could teleport you, why can't she just teleport you closer to the ground? Like, I have questions.
I could Zelda asks if Link is okay, and he nods, even though his eyes are still swirly.
Yeah. I guess she's fine because she's a ghost. Yeah, so music, I guess.
Yeah.
There's some good music in this game.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
There is. So, like, the music in Phantom Hourglass was really similar to Wind Waker. And then I feel like the music in this game it's like evolved from the Wind Waker world. if that makes sense. So it still has like similar types of music and similar like themes and vibes. Like it's also like various folk music inspired. Like a lot of like Western music.
Yeah,
like the
I did
train
notice
music is
that.
a big one, which totally makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like with the train vibe, like you're pioneering or whatever. I don't know, but
Yeah, the like
Yeah,
train
so there's,
overworld
like-
theme is so good.
It is, yeah.
it gets stuck in my head, and it has. So it has things like banjo, like flute, like woodwinds, and strings, and those kinds of instruments. So like a lot of, I don't know, whatever. And you commented there's a lot of there's music that sounds really similar to Banjo-Kazooie. So that's the theme for Aboda Village specifically. But yeah, a lot of the music has similar elements. And the reason it sounds like Banjo-Kazooie, as I put in my extended message to you in Discord, was it has the same, like a lot of those instruments type sounds, like I just mentioned, like banjo, obviously, and then like these sort of like harp or strings and like woodwind type noises, which a lot of Banjo-Kazooie music uses too. So it has a very similar like sound, which
And
is
that
very
like
interesting.
xylophone-y kind of
Yeah.
what instrument
Yeah,
it is
wood
exactly.
xylophone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think any of them are actual real instruments. I mean, they might be like recorded and sampled or whatever. But yeah, that's the like intent of the sound. Is I guess how I would describe it. Yes, that like wood sound. But there's other like folk instruments too. There's like castanets in the Castletown music and stuff like that. So you have a lot of, it's like evolved from Wind Waker, really, where like we talked about how there's a big like Celtic folk music influence, which I don't think carries through as much in this game, but still like more on the folk music end of the scale rather than like classical music, like in not Ocarina of Time necessarily, but like Twilight Princess or whatever, where you have these like sort of big like orchestral type arrangements. So you have like choir, like medieval European music. This is more like folk music. Influenced various types of folk music. And you have a lot of different instruments too. Like one of the lokomos has a sitar kind of sounding instrument too, which is pretty cool. And then you have your pan flute, magical pan flute. So we got to play music again, which was nice because even though some of the songs were hard, like we talked about, but in Phantom Hourglass, there's no instruments that you play. So there's no like
That's right.
songs
Yeah, you draw on a slate.
Right.
That was the
And but you don't necessarily have that. Yeah. I forgot. I never.
Although you
activated
didn't
that
use
in the
music
game.
for fast travel in this one either.
Yeah.
No, there is like a fast travel thing where you can
Although
shoot
you
the
do blow
track
your horn.
things.
So.
Oh, is that how you activate it? Because I was trying to
you
go
have
through
to,
it and I couldn't figure it out.
Well, first you have to find the one with the
force gem on
little
it.
like force gem in the top, and you hit it with your cannon. And then once it's
I did that.
been activated that way, if you blow the horn, it'll connect the two.
Oh, that's
open the
how it
warp,
works. Okay, I see. Because I was like, I'm driving in it. Why no teleport? Anyway, I struggled a lot this game, as you can tell. But yeah, so there's a lot of, so you have like the way the pan flute, magic pan spirit flute works is that there's these duets that you play with the lokomo to restore the path to the temple, and they train you on how to play it, and then they play something that might sound different. So it's really similar to like in Wind Waker when you play the songs with the sages with like Medley and Makar.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I was like, what are their names? But yeah, where they play something different, or they like continue, or they echo you, or whatever. So they play a little duet with you, which is cool. Also, like the extended songs in the warp songs in Ocarina of Time, where like Sheik is playing with you, also.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, similar to that. You play something, and then the song continues with Sheik. So yeah, it's actually really similar to that. And there were different songs you could find hidden things. There's a song of healing. Like did we talk about that while recording, or did we talk about it before? I think we talked about it while recording. This, if you used it or not, but you can use it like one time per temple, I think.
I assume it's like the Phantom Hourglass, where if you leave the temple and come back, it's restored. But I'm not actually sure.
I don't know. I never used it.
Actually,
I didn't play the songs a lot unless you had to.
Yeah.
I wasn't running around looking for like hidden things a lot or played the healing songs. And like the way that you control the spirit flute is that you, as we talked about, there's you kind of like, you have this screen where you hold it and you position which like part of the pipe of the flute you're blowing into by using the stylus to move it across the screen, and then you blow in the microphone. This game had a lot more blowing in the microphone than I think in
Phantom Hourglass.
Phantom Hourglass, because like you have the item where you blow into the microphone and then you have the flute. So that was used heavily in this game. Oh, there's a lot of games where there's a lot of interactions where you're supposed to say something in the microphone also, I noticed.
Oh,
in
yeah,
this game.
yeah.
Which it doesn't really matter if you say something specific, but whatever.
Yeah, just blow into the microphone whenever the DS asks me to say something.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I do. Because I'm not talking in public to my DS.
Yes. Or in private, really.
So you play the things in private. Or like, yeah, there's other people in the room. I'm just going to tap on it or blow on it. Also, it doesn't I think the microphone picks up if there is sound. I don't think there's software to differentiate what you're saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter if you actually say something specific, I think. Maybe you can like blow a rhythm into the microphone. In fact, you can blow a rhythm into the microphone because that's how the flute works. So like you can blow shorter or longer periods of time and make shorter or longer notes, right? But yeah, so there's the flute. It is a fun. You're right that it's a kind of annoying, but also fun because you actually get to like blow. It's like a pretty close approximation to an instrument instead of just pressing buttons like you do for the ocarina or whatever, for example. So it is fun.
I'm surprised they never did like a Hey You Pikachu port for the.
Yeah,
yes.
I was just thinking about that.
That's a good question.
The game didn't work very well, but I was like really into it as a kid. Like,
what console was it originally for?
Nintendo 64 had a microphone.
Oh, it had an attachment?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then I remember I guess it's the Wii? Was it Mario Party like 7, 8?
Oh.
Where they gave you a microphone and some of the mini games required you to use the microphone. Or I guess maybe it was like a game mode.
I think it's game. Oh, okay. I don't know. There was also a attachment for GameCube. I remember.
It might be that. I don't.
But I thought it was
no.
Like one of those,
you're right. It might.
Games. I don't know. We definitely had a microphone attachment for one of those consoles around that time. I don't think
I know
it was
GameCube had sort of a Hey You Pikachu sequel, but it wasn't as fun.
Okay.
But
it was Mario Party 6. It looks like
Pokemon Channel, but I assume it had.
Oh yeah, Mario Party 6 and 7 had it for the GameCube. You would put it into one of the memory slots.
Yeah, you put it in the memory card slot.
Yeah,
my sister really likes Mario Party, so we had a lot of Mario Party games. Just like generally speaking. Yeah, so anyway, because you have the microphone, you have this sort of like flute emulator experience, which is it's pretty fun. Although challenging. It can be challenging. And then, okay, so in terms of actual sound, we talked about how there's a lot of voice acting also in this game already, so I'm not going to talk about that again, but there was more voice acting in this game. And then the most important sound effect that returned is the like item sound effect. So they brought back the like same item sound effect from where you get something that like da 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 is back, which made me really happy. So they used like both item sound effects from like that one and the one from Phantom Hourglass. In terms of like the music, so I talked about the general sort of like vibe and how it's folk music, but in terms of like there's some riffs on like classical Zelda music, like the opening music, like not the credits, but like the scene before you choose, like where you're riding on the train, before you choose your save file, where you're riding on the train, includes like the opening music, the like do 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 kind of a riff on that, which is really nice. So you get that Zelda vibe right away when you turn the game on. I noticed a modified Zelda's Lullaby, which I was really into. I like that one quite a bit. Yes, Zelda's Lullaby came back and it's slightly modified. Even the fairy music at the file select music has a new instrument in it. It has this like sitar like effect in the background too. I was like, oh hey, even you got a facelift. file select music. And then some of the music is like sort of the same, like that cave music from Phantom Hourglass, which I think is also like a riff from an earlier game. I don't remember which one though, like one of the other 2D games. And kind of like the inside the temple music is similar.
Yeah.
And Beetle's shop music came back, of course.
Yes.
Because Beetle's the most important character. And then there's some new characters, so we have some new like theme songs, like Chancellor Cole's theme song, which is like all evil and whatever. I think it's a pretty good evil theme song. And Burn also has a theme. And Burn's theme is kind of like a riff on the overworld train music. It has like less instruments. Can't remember exactly in what way it's different, but it's similar to the like riding on the train music. So Burn also has its own theme that's similar.
Yeah.
So everybody has a theme, of course, except for Link. Link never has his own theme, I guess. But he's just a Link. That's true. His theme is the like the do 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 do, I guess. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then Linebeck's theme is reused. I don't think I mentioned that. Also very important. Linebeck has a good theme. I didn't have that many other comments about the music. It is good in this game.
Yeah.
Like, good background music. I like the train music. I think it's like has a good vibe. I can't tell if the train music, I don't know if it's just my like perception of it, but I think when you slow down the music is a little bit different. Like if you have to stop and turn around, or it might just be that so like the train makes like a, you know, like huffing puffing noise when it's rolling, and that speed of that changes. So what happens is when it's overlaid, it like acts like a beat to the song, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then when you slow down, that slows down. So it could be like adding to that perception the music is slowing down. But I can't tell if it gets like quieter or whatever. There's also a different overlay when you're fighting an enemy when you're on the train.
Yeah.
So there's slightly different music for that. But yeah, it sounds like the train music might be adaptive a little bit, but I think it might also just be a trick of the ear because of the train sound effect that's happening at the same time.
Interesting.
It is interesting. Was there any other music stuff that you all wanted to talk about?
No, not music. I feel like there's a few things we didn't talk about the game in general.
I was going to move on to general conclusions.
Okay. Seamless segue to general conclusions.
Yeah. Segue. Seamless segue.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I think we talked about this off mic, but not during the podcast. Did we all agree that we found the controls a little hard? Well, yeah, a little harder than Phantom Hourglass, and I think the main reason is because we're just doing more with the controls, and it's just not.
Yeah, I think it asked more of the player that wasn't quite up to that. Motion controls, the touch controls weren't quite up to. Yeah, especially like trying to control Zelda.
Oh yeah.
Controlling Zelda and Link at the same time, I found very frustrating sometimes when like Zelda's just off screen and I have to stop moving completely to like then switch to her, and then you know the camera's all messed up, so I have to find her and then quickly try and get her to draw her path while things are still moving, and then I have to start moving again. So there were just times where I just felt like I was rushed and trying to use those controls quickly. It did not work well, especially because you had to wait for the screen to pan. So it would you were limited in how quickly you can set Zelda going on a longer path. And then I also found like several times where like the camera tried to look in the direction that it thought you wanted to be looking at. So like if you had a weapon equipped, it would pan to one side. Yeah. But like then, I just mean like it would pan up or pan down. Because in the sand one, there were times where it would just give you like a top-down view of the whole area. But just generally,
which is helpful sometimes, but then sometimes it wasn't. I was like, I'm trying to move out of this area. I was thinking of like the block where you have to roll the block, the red and blue sticky outy bit blocks. And it's like, I'm not trying to do this. I'm trying to go across. Like, it was a little bit that time.
And
was
then,
a little annoying, but.
Oh yeah. So the screen would be like looking kind of up, but I wanted the screen to go downward so I could see further down, but it just wouldn't switch quickly enough. So yeah, I don't know. I found it not as good as Phantom Hourglass.
It was definitely harder. It's like the same mechanics, but like harder to operate than Phantom Hourglass. I think like Kayla's comment that it's like the player's being asked to do more. Like so it's the same mechanic as controlling the Goron kid, but much slower on Zelda. And then like, and you have to like draw her, you know, like, but you can't, if you start dragging your stylus or whatever, then it goes back to Link. And then like the touch targeting isn't like as, it's not very precise. So sometimes the like battle sequences and stuff are like faster. Like I thought the fight with Burn was really hard because you're trying to make sure that he's targeting you. You're trying to make sure that Zelda doesn't get hit, because if Zelda gets hit, I think it also impacts her health and stuff like that. Like there, it's a little bit hard to control everything and switch between two characters. And then you're right, like wait for it to pan. There were other times where I felt like the camera was really slow too. Like things didn't happen off camera. There's this puzzle where you have to line up the two like blue things that you shoot into in different locations, and you have to like shoot one and it opens the door, and then you shoot the other one and then it shoots an arrow like into the door. You can't like I would try shooting it and then immediately transitioning back to like Link or Zelda or whatever, but like it has to go through the whole animation of shooting the arrow before you can switch. So it actually takes a super long time just to do that. Like you can't do something else while that action is happening. I don't know if it's like just that control, but that's just one example where something's kind of slow when you could be switching and doing other stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then like there was like the sand one where you had to have Zelda carrying you. So if you fell
controlling
down,
the sand.
and you control the sand. So if Zelda fell down, you then had to get set up all the way from the beginning and have her get back on top. And, you know, it's just, I don't know.
I actually didn't have any problem with that part once I figured out that like it never unequipped your sand rod, which was nice. So like as long as you kept walking with Zelda and you just switch back to Link, and you could just immediately like keep like making your sand path. Like you didn't have to fumble between equipping and unequipping your sand rod or anything.
That's smart. I just held the button the whole time because you could hold the shoulder button to do that.
Yeah, like I remember when I started that section, I was like, "Oh, this is going to be a bitch," but actually, it wasn't too bad with how they had it set up.
It did,
but anything that required
anxious.
Like, but anything that required like quick, precise movements with the touch controls are kind of dicey. Like I complained about this before we were recording, but the final boss where you have to protect Zelda for a long time while she charges up her power, and it's like. Half the time I'm trying to slash these boulders and it thinks I'm doing a roll attack, or it just doesn't register anything at all. And Link just does like a little wiggle or something.
You're like, go slash the thing. Damn it. Yes.
It's like half the time I'm like doing nothing, or I'm bashing my face into the rock to protect Zelda. So.
You're like, fine, I guess it's fine.
Yeah, and like you miss one and you have to restart the whole thing. So I was down to literally 3/4 of a heart by the time I actually got through that section, just because it kept messing up and restarting. But I did like the design of the dungeons. I think the dungeons were like their designs were better.
Yeah, and like the puzzles I think were very good. Yeah, they had you like you had to do something up a floor to come back and unlock a new section in that same room, and then that unlock something else so that you had to go back to that room again and unlock. Yeah, it was very neat how they had the overall like pathing, I guess, of the dungeon that it set you through. Although that did sometimes make it confusing, because there are times where I'm like, okay, was there something here that I've missed in this room, or did it want me to go down to the next room and do something there? Every now and then, but
I forget like which door I need to go back through or into. But
yeah, there are like one or two moments where I like looked up the answer to something and I was like, why would I have ever thought of that? But for the most part, they were pretty fun. Like puzzles and like the right level of challenging.
And it was definitely like expected Zelda knowledge too, where it's like, I probably need to go stand on that thing, and then it's like, oh, it'll switch you in Zelda or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
those are fun. I like the puzzles.
I liked
that.
Switching.
Yeah,
I liked that a lot. I think I agree they were good puzzles.
I overthought some of them too much, because like there's one room where
never overthink it. Just shoot the eyes.
Yeah. Well, no, because like, there was one room where there was the circles and the triangles that you could swap with.
Oh yeah.
And like, so I was like, okay, so I need to switch with Link here to get Zelda over there, and then Link can come here, and then I have to get Zelda over onto this one, so that way you can switch with Link. And there's just sand so you can get on top of her to cross the spikes. But I thought that I needed to. I was like, oh, there's the switch thing there, so I clearly have to use that to get over there.
Yeah.
But I think maybe that was to get back out of there. I had to use it, but anyway.
I don't remember which place you're talking about, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know the sand. One thing that I felt like actually some of the tools in this game reminded me of Breath of the Wild, like the sand, just kind of like the ice tool. I think there's some like direct influence there.
Yeah,
I can't remember. There seems like there's other ones too, but definitely the sand wand where you have to like, or rod or whatever it's called, where you have to like, it builds up a thing and then you can walk on it and stuff, is like really similar to the ice. You know.
I know they bring back basically the exact same sand rod in Link Between Worlds.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, I like the sand rod. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. I like the noise that it makes. I forgot to talk about that. It has a good sound effect. It's like, woo, 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 woo.
I like using it on the little sand monsters and they like run away from you and then they like
I really hate those. Oh, I hate those sand monsters. They're so gross. I didn't like them, but I did enjoy using the rod on them. Yes. And there's one where you have to turn them into, you have to make them solidified and then put them onto, like on switches.
Or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I always think it's funny when enemies like,
they're like,
will run away when you have like a weapon that's like specially made.
Yeah. I definitely tried attacking them with a couple different things before I picked up the rod, and I was like, what do I do? What should I do?
Yeah.
Why do you respond to anything? I can't blow them away. I can't hit them with a boomerang. Like, you know, can't whip them away. I thought the whip was fun. It's like we're like Indiana Jonesing it here. We have like rock boulders and like whips, whatever. But yeah, the sand. I remember the sand particularly reminded me of Breath of the Wild. I feel like there was another tool, like another item that did something similar that reminded me of Breath of the Wild. But I guess there's just like ice stuff, but I can't remember. Definitely the sand wand though. Reminded me of that. Made me look forward to Breath of the Wild. So there's that. Yay. One thing that also I didn't know where to talk about this is like as a criticism or something I didn't enjoy was like the dialogue. I feel like there was a lot of just like non-option dialogue where it's like, you know, like hey Link, let's go to the tower, and you have like let's go, or like or whatever, and it's like I don't care. Why does this need to be dialogue?
Yeah.
Why did we have to stop for this? Like it's not, you know what I mean? Like just like things that are you're forced to interact with that like don't actually require. There is no actual like you're not really choosing anything. Like I don't know. That's kind
I always find it a little bit funny when games give you like two options and they make the same thing. Where it's like
It's funny like. I feel like it would be funny in some of the dialogue, but it's like all the time. It's like, I don't care. I want to go to the fucking temple. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm too impatient when I play games. Maybe I need to chill. But it's just like it's kind of interesting because in Phantom Hourglass, you don't have a lot of dialogue. Link doesn't have a lot of dialogue. Everybody's always talking around Link or whatever, and it's like it's still funny, but you don't you never have to input anything. As your dialogue. So
I feel like it was trying to like build up more relationship between Link and Zelda or something.
Why? We have that great cutscene where we are totally convinced. I think that is the point. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the way that Zelda is in this game either, where she's all like kind of tropey, like afraid of rats, and she's all like, let's go do the thing. We're doing this together, right, Link? We're so great. You're doing great. I love you so much. And it's like, I don't you're not Tetra.
I did think the relationship was cute, but like Zelda as a character wasn't too exciting.
I mean, I like their relationship. It's like, it'd be fine sometimes if they were like, oh yeah, we did the thing together, like once in a while, but it's like literally after every fucking dungeon. It's like, yeah, Zelda, I know, I've been controlling you as a phantom for the last like 3 dungeons. Like, I get it.
I think they were like,
you know,
less confident about the relationship than they needed to be, because like it was fine with like, but the cutscenes were cute. Like it built them.
Yeah, they're cute.
It built them up fine with just like their little, like, you know, Link's expressions and their little cute interactions. Like they didn't really need all the dialogue.
No.
Yeah.
No, they don't need it. And it's okay. You don't have to sell us on
non-dialogue.
non-dialogue. Yeah. no option dialogue is what I decided to call it. There's just like, there isn't really a choice. Like, you can't really say no. You have 2 yes options, you know? And it's like, it's not, you don't need a choice if it's not really a choice. Just have Link nod, and then you go to the cutscene, like, whatever, you know? Like, it's fine.
Yeah. They did actually have a lot of no options that I never took, but I was always like, what's the reaction if you say, like, no, I'm tired or whatever?
Yeah. I saw that. It's like, let's go now. And the option is like, no, I'm tired. I was like, this is great. That's fine. That's fine. It's just when it's like, it says like, yeah, exclamation point, or like, It's like, okay, these are both acquiescence. Like, it's not the same. But yeah, I don't know. And there's so many better sort of like Zelda interpretations in other games that it's like you're competing with like Tetras and like Twilight Princess Zelda, you know, like where even though they have like sort of a well, Tetra has a relationship with Link, but like Twilight Princess Zelda has basically no relationship with Link, but then they still are able to develop a relationship, you know, through like very minimal interaction and whatever. You have the Zelda that's like with Link the whole time, and she's like, are we good? We're good? Are we good? And it's like, okay, yeah, I'm helping you. We're together. Like, chill. You know? I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Hot take.
I mean, she does have a personality, which makes her better than some of the Zeldas in the
True. But... She's present as a character in the story. She's freaking out about her body, which is legitimate. She's like, no, give me back my body. That's fine. All that dialogue and characterization is fine. It's all the like sort of girl tropey, you know, character stuff that I didn't like. You know what I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. Other characters that I'm talking about that I can't think of off the top of my head. It's fine. But she still gets involved with the battle in the end. And also you get to control, like, as a phantom. So she's involved, like, a lot more, which is nice.
Yeah.
Like, you also have... Like, Linebeck is a companion and he's funny, but he doesn't really do anything for you until the last battle, so...
In which case he goes against you.
Yeah, how rude.
I mean, Zelda had the... Oh, wait, never mind.
There's also zombie Zelda in this game, but... Or like kind of puppet Zelda, possessed Zelda in this game, but yeah. So like she's at least also with you the whole time, so you actually have like a companion with you the whole time. So even though her dialogue's kind of annoying, it is also fun in the story to actually have somebody with you. Like you're not like completely fucking alone, which you are in like every other Zelda game where like Link is like alone, and you alone have the whole like task of the saving the world resting on your shoulders. Like at least Zelda is also with you in this game, which is kind of nice for once. Linebeck is with you, but he's not like with you, you know. He's like, yeah, you go take care of that thing. I'm gonna repair my ship or whatever.
Says, I'll wait by the car.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I'm totally here for you as long as you're on my ship. Everything else is off limits. He helps in the end, though, as part of his character growth. He stabbed Bellum. Character growth.
Yeah.
But yeah, Zelda's like your companion, which is nice. A real companion. She's not... Well, I was going to say she's not as slow as Makar, but then I realized that she is, so...
But she doesn't jingle while she walks.
She doesn't jingle the whole time. Well, she has... There's like armor moving sound effect when the Phantom's walking, so she does kind of jingle, but...
She clanks.
Not like she clanks. Yeah, she doesn't jingle, she clanks. It's a different onomatopoeia. Anyway, those were my complaints, but it was cute overall. I thought it was cute.
Yeah,
I didn't enjoy it as much as Phantom Hourglass, but I thought it was fun and cute. So. Did you all think about where you would rank this game in relationship to others?
I put it below Minish Cap and above the Oracle games. And Minish Cap is right below Phantom Hourglass.
So did I.
At first I was debating on putting it above or below Phantom Hourglass. But then, like, the annoyances built up a little more, so I was like, alright, it's below Phantom Hourglass. And they built up a little more, and I was like, alright, I gotta drop it down one more. But it's still not as annoying as the fucking Goron dance minigame in the Oracle game, so...
I also had, like, kind of a similar thought process. I also, before I had said that I ranked Link's Awakening and Minish Cap together, but I decided that I needed to separate them, and now's the time. So I have Phantom Hourglass Link's Awakening, then Minish Cap, then Spirit Tracks. I also put it below Minish Cap. And I think the reason is like, I don't know why. I mean, it's hard to say. This game is definitely not as good as Phantom Hourglass. And then on top of that, I feel like it's not as like different as Phantom Hourglass was, if that makes sense. So like, Link's Awakening is, and also like, I didn't like the dialogue and like cutscenes as much as I did in Phantom Hourglass. Like Phantom Hourglass has really great, like funny moments and like character moments and like stuff happening in the background and cutscenes that are really cute and like funny and interesting and different. And I think Link's Awakening goes below that because of like Link's Awakening has really funny dialogue and like interesting characters. You know, there's like the animal that's like catfishing the guy or whatever. There's like all these sort of like random funny things that I think make it really charming and interesting. And then Minish Cap has like the Minish and whatever, and like it's cute. Yeah. And then I think below that Spirit Tracks, where it's like it's still cute and fun, but it's not as interesting as those other ones. And then I also put it above the Oracles. Oracles are below. So that was my opinion. It's still a good game, but I don't know.
Yeah, there are things I really like about it. There's just enough annoying things that keeps it from trains. I actually did really like driving the train around.
Like at first I was like, this is a little annoying. At first I was kind of annoyed. I was like, this isn't as good as sailing. But then after a while, it was like blowing up rocks and like attacking stuff. And I was like, this is actually really fun.
Blowing my whistle, vibing to the music.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's why I like the train so much, is that the music was much better.
The sailing music is good though, at least for Wind Waker, where it's like and then it like changes. You know,
yeah, I love the Wind Waker sailing.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Phantom Hourglass.
Not
like
as
I didn't enjoy sailing in that very much. But I enjoyed the train.
Merely adequate, and the only difference is like the sailing music has like a different version when you're going in the fog, but like there's no other weather or whatever, so it's not as varied.
Yeah.
Yeah, the train music is definitely a vibe in this game where it's like you're like
I really like going around the train, and I really like the dungeons, but a lot of the other stuff was less fun.
The story, I feel like all the story is sort of like cobbled together around that. It's like we have good dungeons, we have a good concept with the train. Now how do we Zelda-ify this concept?
That was what I was gonna
what the fuck are Spirit Tracks? Like, I don't know.
How long have they been there? Have trains existed this whole time? Did they just have trains, 1,000 years ago?
Yeah, I feel like the story, like, it takes itself really seriously for how inherently ridiculous it is. And I love how inherently ridiculous it is, but...
I mean, me too. It's like, I'm not questioning it, but my interpretation, the way that I chose to headcanon it is like, the tower is a physical place that holds him in, and then they actually like spread something into the ground to like hold it in, as if it's like kind of like chains in the ground or whatever, as tracks, as fucking train tracks. I guess they turn them into train tracks. I don't know, whatever. And then there's like a whole spirit train, and there's like an evil train.
And demon train. So I guess there's just like a train history in this.
What did they do? How did they become trains?
Maybe that's how trains were invented, by looking at the like demon train and spirit train.
Look at these creatures. I mean, the demon train has a face, so it's definitely like anthropomorphic. Evil trains all have faces. Maybe the spirit train doesn't have a face because it's like artificial, like it was created to fight the demon train. And like
the demon train's just like straight up a human face, though. Like the evil trains, the normal evil trains are just kind of regular cartoony train faces. But
the demon train is kind of like it's just like Uncanny Valley, like Thomas the Tank Engine
modeled human face on.
Yeah, it's like weird Thomas the Tank Engine. This is what I'm saying. It's like evil Thomas the Tank Engine. In the Uncanny Valley,
like it's like a more realistic human face than has been in any Zelda game. In front of that train.
Yeah, it's not okay, but it is an evil train. All the evil stuff is like there's a clear cut of whose music is evil and whose isn't, and which train is evil and which one isn't. There's a very clear line between good and evil in this Zelda game.
Well, that's why you have the spirits of good.
Yeah, right. Don't ask questions. And then demons, just like the demon king. He's not just a demon, he's a demon king. That's how you know he's the primary evil.
And his name has bad in it.
Yeah. That's how you know it's bad. It's like, instead of Mallard, how about Malladeus? Listen. Yeah. No. Cosm, where would you rank this game?
I think below
you wanna talk
Link's
about
Awakening.
games. Okay, below Link's Awakening. So you have
Yeah.
Phantom Hourglass, Minish Cap, Phantom Hourglass, Oracles, and Link's Awakening. And so then you think below that also.
Spirit Tracks, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and mine is Link's
Fine.
Awakening, Phantom Hourglass, Minish Cap, Spirit Tracks, and then Oracles.
Yeah, then Oracles. Cosm really like the Oracles games.
I think I like them in theory more than I actually liked playing them.
Nostalgia
Yeah,
value has
yeah.
value.
I liked what they could.
No,
have
I
been.
just I just think that it was creative, and I like the idea of the two of
Yeah.
them interacting together. And I think there was a lot of elements that, like, I feel like were cool, but while playing them, it was like, I wish
Yeah.
they had done it better, you know?
I understand.
Yeah,
But again, the only game on this list that I think was bad is Zelda 2. Like
yeah.
every other one I've enjoyed to some degree. Like
Mhm.
I don't even think Zelda 2 is bad. I think it's just way too hard to be enjoyable. But
Yeah.
some people
bad
are
as
like,
in
I
did
love
not
that
enjoy
best.
it. Like, yeah. Not
Yeah.
in like an objectively this is crap kind of way. It just I did not enjoy this. Therefore,
did
it is
not
bad
enjoy
as
this.
a
I didn't
video
enjoy-
game in my experience.
I didn't enjoy anything about it. I didn't enjoy the overworld. I didn't enjoy the vibes. I didn't enjoy trying to figure out what to do. It was very unobvious what you're supposed to do.
I did enjoy the palace
Next.
theme. It was a banger.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
it was pretty great. All the
That's
palace
the only
themes
thing
were
I
really
enjoyed about
good.
Zelda 2.
I also really liked Zelda 2 had the crazy Thunderbird final
Yeah,
boss
yeah,
thing. That one
yeah.
was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the sprites were really cool. Some of the enemies were really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It also had the horrifying, like, what were they, Iron Knuckles in that game or Dark Nuts? Whatever, you know.
Mhm.
You know.
I don't know.
Those
They killed
guys.
me all the
I mean,
time.
they were kind of a,
Yeah.
they killed me all the time. But then sometimes it was like a statue that you would hit stuff. It had cool things, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
that was I would it's
Yeah, there's still stuff.
The
to
only one I
appreciate
wouldn't
you
play
about Zelda
again.
2. It's just
it's too
not
hard.
fun.
The people who like it are all like, I loved the combat, and it's like I hated the combat.
Yeah.
I hated everything about it.
It's like my number one
Dying.
qualification for being a good game is that it's fun.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Games should be fun. And so
it's not fun.
That doesn't.
It's not fun for us. It seems to be
Yeah.
fun for some people. I don't know anyone in real life who seems to enjoy it, but yes,
They're out there. I've seen them on the interwebs.
they're all like Zelda 2 is the best, typing really hard, fervently into Reddit or whatever. But
Like, and I'm not going to argue with them because they scare me. So
they're like, Wind Waker sucks, not enough combat, and you're like, we can roll around. I don't know what more do you want?
look, I pressed the A button and his helmet came off.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I rolled around. Now I can see his little Anubis head or whatever. I can slice off like multiple parts of their armor. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what people want anyway. And then you also just like do it in Twilight Princess. You have to learn it. The link from the past has to tell you about it. You know, you don't just do it, but you just do it.
Disgruntled
Wind Waker.
spirit of Ocarina of Time Link has to come and tell you what to do.
How to fucking use a sword like you're an idiot.
I love Zelda games.
That's why we have this podcast. Because there's random, strange things to appreciate about all of them. Anyway, I think these are all legitimate rankings. I don't know. It just wasn't as good.
I like how we've all got kind of like the same clusters with like different orderings within those clusters. Like we've all got like the same like top 4 in different orders and
Yeah.
Yeah.
like the same like next 4 in different orders.
Mhm.
I think they're all
Roughly.
objectively. The thing is that the top 4 that Kayla's referring to, for people who aren't looking at our list, is like Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, basically.
Mhm.
And like, I don't think anybody can argue that those are not good.
Some of the best
They're
games
great.
ever made.
They're great games. The best games ever made, and also like sort of critical and like seminal in game like design, like Ocarina of Time and like Z targeting
Yeah.
and stuff. Like there's just like things about them that are also sort of like relevant just for in their historical context. Also, I mean, like Twilight Princess is also one of the first games for the Wii, so it's like one of the first games that had motion control. Probably like, you know, I don't know, like they're all
Semi-functional motion control.
Hey, hey. At least
I
it
just
didn't
mean there
cause
was
people
worse
to-
motion control before that.
Definitely. That wasn't like the connector or whatever.
Yeah, there was worse motion
but
control after that.
Oh snap! Someone call the burn unit. It had motion controls that didn't cause people to throw their Wii remote through the screen, like some of the games that were out for the Wii, like Wii Bowling in particular. I feel like was like number one cause of TV damage.
I seriously love the progression of warding screens on Wii games as you go down
Yeah.
the timeline.
Also, the forced like buying them with the cushion around them too. They're like, we can't stop people from like wearing the strap and like not having sweaty hands. So I guess we just need to cushion the remote.
Yeah, you can see. Yeah, the progression of the Wiimotes themselves too. It's like the first one just had that little slidey strap to hold the strap in place. Then the later ones had that one that like buckles it
Snap.
down.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
they came with and then they came with
the
the
squishy
little
thing.
OtterBox thing.
Otterbucks, yeah. Yeah, it's like a squishy silicone case. Which is
Like they just kept trying. They're like, how do we get people to stop breaking shit with our Wiimotes?
But then for the
Must be a way.
Switch, they just switch back to like snap bands. It doesn't have a protection thing.
Well,
yet,
I think
but
because
guess
those
it's a
things
lot
are
lighter.
small and much easier easier to grasp.
Yeah, and they're not
the-
slick. Like
Right, the plastic is also textured. It's kind of like I got a more matte texture, so I think it's easier to grip it. But yeah, they're just a lot lighter.
they're also less hefty, so they're not going to do as much damage if they do slide out of your hand.
I think people also have less glass TVs than they used to because the Wii still came out when CRTs were still like not like popular but prevalent. Like we had a CRT TV still. So, but yeah, I guess people were making their widescreens, their LCDs and whatnot. So maybe TVs can stand up to a little more stuff being thrown at them now. I don't know. I don't know what medium we're putting LEDs in now. Anyway, next time. I don't have a catchy end phrase this time. Sorry.
Next time we can throw remotes at the TV.
Yeah, we can. How exciting! Next time we're playing Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
That game came out with the Wii Remote Plus. I don't remember if it had the squishy things yet, but I remember it came out when the Wii Remote Plus was out. So it was definitely later in the Wii cycle, for sure, in the evolution of the Wii.
I'll tell you what the wording screen shows.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out. Yeah, I'm gonna try the Switch version because I want to try the. It also has motion controls, so I'm excited about that. Also, I just love the Switch, so whatever.
I'm going to
But
see if
I
my
can
Wii
play it
Remote
on the Wii U.
works. Otherwise, I'll use the Switch version probably.
Yeah, I mean, I know mine work because I tested them for Twilight Princess, but then I was like, I can't play this game half in reverse and then half not in reverse. So I chose to just stick with the Wii U. Also, like, I have the Wii U set up, but I couldn't find all the Wii components, I don't think, unless you need mostly the same ones. I might be able to plug in the Wii, but like I couldn't find like the cords. I have the console, but I couldn't find the cables. So when you use the Wii
it on the
U,
Wii U.
you can, but it has to boot into the stupid Wii menu and it takes forever. So enjoy that, I guess. Enjoy your 10 minutes waiting for the Wii menu to boot up. Yeah. So I can play it, but I think I want to see what the Switch version is like. If it doesn't have, if the motion controls are like whatever, then I'll try it on the thing. As long as I can charge up my sword and hear the sound effect, that will be fine. That will be enough.
Yeah.
I
never had a huge problem with the motion controls, so I'm looking forward to it.
I don't remember. I mean, I only played that game briefly. Just like I only played.
I played it up
Princess
until the last Silent Hill Spirit Realms part, and I was just like, not again.
I'm done with this.
So I got pretty far in the game. So.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
Scary as
Cosmo, you've
shit.
probably beaten it.
Yeah. Once.
Can't wait.
I tried a second time and didn't get very far. So we'll see how I do this time.
You play a lot of Ocarina of Time, but have you played most Zelda games like more than one time? Have you beaten them more than one time?
I've beaten Wind Waker 3 times, I'm pretty sure. And Majora's Mask, and I've played several times. Ocarina of Time, countless times if you count the randomizer.
Right.
some of the Game Boy games I've beaten multiple times. Like I think Minish Cap, I playing it here was my third time beating it. I'm pretty sure I beat the Oracle games both all the way through twice before. But and I don't remember Twilight Princess if I beat it a second time or not. But I beat it for this. Did I beat it?
Didn't you? I thought
I'm pretty sure I did.
I don't. I mean, you weren't emulating it, which was the cause of all the other ones, not other games that you didn't finish, right?
No, like the seasons I just didn't get through. And
I think I also didn't. None of us got through both.
Yeah,
because that was.
And then Wind Waker, I tried to do too much. I didn't just try to beat the game. I went and side quest heavy, and I just and I so that one I didn't have enough time to. Breath of the Wild, I think I beat that because I started it in hard mode. I don't remember how far I got. I'm pretty sure I got pretty far.
Oh, you restarted. I was like, why did you start in hard mode?
No, after I beat it, I played it again in hard mode. Yeah.
The only one that I had beaten before this podcast was Breath of the Wild. I had played almost all the way through Wind Waker. I'm pretty sure I was just in like the tower where you have to fight all the puppet Ganons. That was where I stopped, and I was like, I'll finish that, and then I never did. So it was like pretty close. That's like the second to last fight. After beating it,
when I was a kid, I didn't really
wow.
beat games, so a lot of these I like played pretty far, but didn't finish unless I played them again when I was older. So like Wind Waker, I'd beat, and because I played it several times into my adulthood, and Ocarina of Majora's Mask I beat just because I played them through for the first time all the way on the 3DS remakes. So, but a lot of the other ones like Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks I both played through most of the way. Like I looked at my old save file and I had beaten all the dungeons. I just didn't finish the game, and and like I hadn't beat Twilight Princess until this time all the way through.
Well, now we have the opportunity to beat Skyward Sword. Yay. It's going to take forever. I can't wait. Games that are designed to be played for years, so we play them in a month. It's going to be fine.
Skyward Sword came out when I was in college, so...
Me too.
When I was at the point where I was like, I don't want to play this, I'm scared. I put it down and then didn't pick it up again because I didn't have time.
Right. Basically, I was like what happened in college would be like, new game comes out, we buy it, because it's like, oh, this is exciting, I'm going to play this new game. Play for like a few hours, and then have to go do work, and then never played ever again. That's what happened with Skyward Sword.
Yeah, because I think I got it for Christmas, so I had some of the Christmas break to play it. But then, like, once I brought it back to college with me, I played for a little bit and then got busy, and so dropped off when I stopped.
Yes. Anyway, I'm excited to play Skyward Sword. I think it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to these games were cute and all, but I'm looking forward to like another 3D, like 3D Zelda game. It's funny that we said the same thing, described it the same way. The same strange way, not like the same metaphorical way. Yeah, another immersive 3D Zelda game. It's going to be fun, I think.
Trains.
Anyway, I guess we'll see you. I don't know when the fuck this episode comes out. Hold on, wait. Because this comes out April? Hold on, let me just check. Yeah, so join us May 1st for Skyward Sword.
Yay.
See you then. Yay.
Mayday.
Yay.
Not to be confused with Mayday. Like, calling for help. Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
This article says Anjin's name might be a reference to an engine, particularly a train engine. Yeah, it's like no fucking shit in Zelda Wiki.
Have you ever... There's like a Tumblr or something that's called like Thanks Bulbapedia. And it's all like really obvious quotes from Bulbapedia that are like, this name might be a reference to whatever, but it's like really obvious what it is.
There should be like a horrified Thanksgolopedia where it's like the Pokedex entry is something horrifying. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but sometimes it's like, it eats the souls of like whatever. And you're like, oh, okay, I just thought this ghost Pokemon was cute. I didn't need to know.
Yeah, like the sandcastle Pokemon that like drains the like life energy out of anyone that touches the shovel or whatever. There's a lot of horrifying Pokedex
There's a lot of horrifying Pokedex entries. That's why I think it should be a Tumblr. Maybe we can start it. Maybe we'll be famous. Anyway. Yeah, so like the speed, I mean, I think it's interesting. I read like I can't remember which episode we were recording, but I remember reading one of like a speech or something that Koji Kondo did, and he was talking about how like sound effects have to be timed with music and how they impact like how you interact with the game. Like if you change this, you know what I mean? Like the sound effects also impact how fast you react and stuff in the game. So
I would be surprised if it was Wind Waker, because of how like when enemies.
Wind Waker 1 is actually adaptive. It actually changes. Which is really cool. That's also a really good point about Wind Waker being a cool game. Is like the sound effects when you attack are actually integrated into the
song
enemy fighting music. It's really cool.
Doesn't the themes like switch between like when a boss is weak versus when they're not? It like switches, and then when you hit them in that weakened state, there's even more like adaptability to the.
I don't know. I just know that it's like there's a background music that changes speed or whatever. Like it doesn't change speed. It just increases in intensity. Yeah. And then there are your links. There's like attacks when you hit with the sword. There's different sound effects that are added, and there's different ones that play. So there's like multiple different ones. It goes like do 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 do, and then there's like a couple different versions of that. And then on top of that, there's like Link screaming or whatever. So or whatever enemy noises are also happening. Yeah. But yeah, so the
I think I remember there being something with the boss music like that.
Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, it's I know for sure the like general enemy fighting music is like highly adaptable, so probably could be applied to the boss music. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Anyway, let's play Wind Waker again. Let's play Spirit
One music thing I liked in this game was in the like interior part of the Tower of Spirits, like when you're climbing up the stairs before you go into any of the temple part. It's like each level you get, it like adds more instrumentation and like makes the sound more complex. Which I always love when games do that.
And it has more that part of the map has like kind of a more Zelda vibe, because it also has like the chanting and stuff. But yeah, it's cool. You're right that it adds more stuff as you go higher up, which is pretty neat. It makes the temple. This like also has to sort of like repeating, like you go to the same place multiple times, so it makes the temple like more interesting also, or like the Tower of Spirits more interesting. So the vibe is different.
And it makes that
also
like last
walking
climb
up takes forever.
Yeah, it makes the last climb at the end feel fairly epic, because it's like goes from like just sort of vague like wind sound effects to like this sort of like epic theme at the end once you go to like confront the and, like final challenge and everything.
It's kind of like Ganon's music in Ocarina of Time, where you're like climbing the tower and it gets louder and louder and louder. Yeah.
There's a thing in one of the Pokemon games. I want to say it's Black and White, but I'm not sure. Someone did a lot of cool music things, but it's like when you're going to the Pokemon League, you like go through these little checkpoints where they check if you got each badge. And like each time you pass a checkpoint, it would like add some like new instrumentation to the background.
Nice.
So it was really cool.
Ooh. That's cool. I like it.
But yeah, I love whenever a game does something like that, or it just like keeps adding stuff to the same music.
There's just like, it's interesting when games do interesting things with music. Like I was reading about how Untitled Goose Game has like a bunch of different if you're familiar with Untitled Goose Game, I mean it's a great game for many reasons, but one of the things that makes it
another game with a dedicated
like,
make noise button.
Yes. That's what makes it great. The soundtrack is like classical music, but the way that the soundtrack was created is like a pianist recorded, so they took these pieces of music and like cut them into chunks basically and recorded them at different speeds, And so like when you start to interact with the goose and you start to do things and like make more trouble, then it like plays things at a different speed or like plays it faster or whatever. So it's also adaptable based on what the player is doing, and so it was like purposely recorded that way, which is very interesting. But like when you hear it, it sounds like seamless. It's very, very interesting. They the reason that I read about this is because I was looking at this website where they're selling like a Untitled Goose Game vinyl record soundtrack, and I was like, I mean, the soundtrack is pretty. Like I never really thought about it, but the soundtrack on the vinyl record is recorded in such a way that it has 2 tracks. So it also has like a sort of random experience of playing it. You get like one or the other track when it's playing, which is pretty cool. So anyway, it's like, oh, so on top of that, they also made like a vinyl record that like plays random music, like a sort of semi-random. It can play one or two of the tracks. It's like, oh, that's really cool. Anyway, this is my random facts about Goose Game, but it's an interesting way to do a soundtrack where like, I know,
adaptive music in games. It's always so cool.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you don't even notice. Like you would never be like, oh, this piece of music is just getting faster. It's just like you're just like there's more action happening in the game. You know what I mean? Like it's cool.
I think the first time I like consciously experienced it was with Banjo-Kazooie. Where like the music will like change depending on where you are on the map.
Yeah.
It's like the same basic song, but it like adds and takes away different things. And that like blew my tiny mind.
I noticed that because I didn't play Banjo-Kazooie very much. I'm very familiar with the fucking pause screen music that is so obnoxious that my sister always left on because she played Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
No? Okay. So fucking annoying. I mean, it's so great, but it's really annoying. But yeah, like I noticed that because when you commented on that in our chat, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go look at the music because like I agree, but I didn't know why. And then I was like looking at all the variations, and there was like a lot of different music for Banjo-Kazooie for like, it's like, oh, a theme when you're underwater, a theme when you're in this land, a theme when you're here. There's like Gruntilda's theme here, Gruntilda's theme underwater, Gruntilda's theme in the woods or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, so there's like a substantial amount of variation.
Yeah.
Underwater music is really fun and pretty. I don't know why people think like harp sounds like underwater, but apparently that's what the sound is. I think it was similar.
There's a variation of Gruntilda's theme for like every level when you're near the like, entry portal, and then like there's an underwater theme version of every theme, and shout out to Grant Kirkhope.
Yes. It's great. It's great. Obnoxious environmental music.
It's definitely got its own vibe.
It has a vibe. It has a specific vibe. But yeah, it's cool like how much variation there is, because also I think N64 games like they have a lot of music. They can have a lot of music. I just don't remember a soundtrack being as extensive as that one.
Yeah.
Maybe Super Mario 64. Maybe. Which has a pretty big soundtrack. And then, like, probably Ocarina of Time is a pretty big soundtrack. Probably Majora's Mask has an even bigger one, actually.
Yeah, I know Mario 64
just in terms of
reused
variety.
a lot of their tracks for different levels. But, but they had a lot of
there's,
levels.
And they have a lot of enemies. Like, the Piranha Plant has its own music, you know, when you're walking up to it. And, like, so there's a lot of sound that changes when you're approaching enemies. Like, maybe the level music is the same, but... yeah, there's some variation too. Anyway, those are all my takes about other random games. Music. I could sing more Banjo-Kazooie music for you, even though I never played it.
N64 nostalgia corner.
Yeah. Well, it definitely sounds...
I'm going to go play that now.
You should. It has that vibe, and also, like, this console has similar sort of, like, level of technology capability in terms of, like, the screen. I think the sound can be a little bit more flexible, but it lends itself to music that's very similar to the N64, I think, because of the structure. Except in stereo, because there's 2 speakers. Although N64 music might be in stereo because it was played through a TV, so I don't know. I could be wrong about that. It might have stereo, and I don't remember.
Yeah, because it was AV, right? It had two audio plugins.
Yeah, it should. But then, like,
Yeah,
they
you
make
had the yellow one and the red one.
one for V
Or the
and
white
two
one. I don't
for A.
remember which one was on.
Maybe that's like the new like Lineback's like cousin or something, you know? Like maybe they I don't know. Maybe they have they have the same grandparents. That's what I'm trying to say. That would make them cousins. Yeah, that's how it works. I've never had to like backtrack that relationship. You know what I mean? Like yes.
Once you get past like first cousins, I'm lost when it comes to tracking like relationships.
The good news in English is they're all cousins, so you don't have to know. Just like my cousin, my relation.
And you get the cousins that aren't actually related to you; they're just the children of family friends, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah. That's because we grew up in the South, though. That I don't know if other people.
I mean
do that.
that's a thing for me
it's
too.
Also, right. Yes,
Like,
you have
for
a
me,
lot of
it's 'cause
cousins that
they've,
are non-related.
New York Italian relatives.
Cousins. You mean cousins?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like everybody growing up is like aunt so and so and cousin so and so, but they're not related to you. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You're still discovering, like, well into your adulthood. You're like, wait, I'm not related to them.
Or like trying to explain that it's like my cousins, people that I call my cousins are like my mom's cousins' children or whatever. It's like, don't worry about it. Anyway, listen, this was Cousin Corner. So
Very important.
The train.
Train.
The train's gonna like crush an evil train. It's speeding up.
Yeah.
I was waiting for Kayla to be like trains, but
I was hoping the train would come by again, but
if we wait long enough, it'll come by.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we only had one train visit this recording so far, so that's like it's a very minimal amount. We usually have like 2 per recording. So I'm so
way less
disappointed.
trains on this recording than in the game.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, my lizard is looking at me. Hi.
Aw.
What do you want? He's probably mad because I'm here and the light's on. That's fine though. Everything you move so much. I mean, slowly, but
He's like, you have bug?